Were you able to get any?
Chairman, even though the chairman yesterday said that you are past that, but I've got some pictures if I'll be allowed to share.
Sorry?
I said I have pictures if I'm allowed to share with the committee.
I thought you were to bring the evidence of the pictures that you have today.
Yes, I have.
You are not allowed.
The chairman yesterday said that we are past that because of time issues.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I concur with my fellow senator that if you do your meetings in that First Lady's house, she has a right to be there in those meetings because that's her home.
Yes, Honorable Ahmed, you know, these are ladies, they know how they run their homes. I think that's why they're asking so many questions around the First Lady. Then Senator Gura.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Shuaib, there's this issue of companies being associated with Governor and his family, like number 21, this other construction. I just wanted to know the association. How are they? Are they business associates or they are related? They are relatives?
They are relatives and blood relatives for that matter.
Okay, their relationship is blood relatives? Not
yes, family relatives.
Okay. Senator Outa.
Chair, I would just want to request that in your ruling that you'll consider the proposal made by Senator Sakaja on the extra evidences that may be able to attest the authenticity of the source of the document before us.
Chair, I did not make a proposal for production. I said we have the power to invoke that. I just wanted a clarification or an affirmation by the witness that what we would find would be the same. But I have not asked for those to be produced. Just clarifying that. And he has held under oath that what we see is what we shall get if we went that route. But that's all I wanted to establish.
I think we leave it at that. Any other? Okay, we'll take. Me, I just want one clarification. Paragraph 10, you have said that Osman Abdi Jamale owns the following companies. Huh?
Yes, Chairman.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You said Osman Abdi Jamale owns the following company. You have listed them. Eh?
Yes, Chairman.
And then page 34,
yes,
all through to page 40, you have attached CR12.
Yes, Chairman.
So, did you attach the CR12 to confirm that Omar Abdi Jamale owns these companies, or you wanted to show that these companies are associated with the First Lady? Which is which?
For both, Chairman, to show that Osman Abdi Jamale is the director of these companies and he owns them, and he acts in proxy for the governor and his first family.
Is there anywhere where there is how many? About 8. There are about 8 companies.
Yes, Chairman.
Is there? I just want to be sure that so that you pinpoint, so that I'm aware. Is there one where there are 3 people are mentioned here?
Yes.
There is the First Lady, the son, and the daughter. Is
yes,
there
Chairman.
anywhere maybe they are directors?
No, not directors as per the CR12.
They are not directors as per the CR12?
Yes, Chairman.
Thank you.
I'm through, Chairman.
I think you are released. We can take the next witness.
Okay, thank you, and I wish everybody Eid Mubarak.
Senior counsel, we are waiting for your next witness.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, he's coming, he's there, but I just wanted a small clarification from the chair. Yesterday, you said summons will be issued to one Osman Abdullah Jama. I just wanted to know whether he has been.
We'll tell you as we proceed. I'll consult the clerk's office. So we'll let you know the status.
Abdurrahman Dahir, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Yes, Honorable Dahir, you are our third and last witness. Can you introduce yourself to the committee?
Chairman, my names are Honorable Hussein Abdurrahman Dahir. I'm the member of County Assembly for Abaswain Ward. At the same time, I chair the Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries at the County Assembly of WAJIR. Chairman, with due regard, allow me to introduce part of my affidavit that I saw.
Before you do that,
and I want to mention that I saw on two affidavits.
Before you do that, Chairman, we are looking at CA1 and CA2. CA1 and CA2.
Okay, Senior Counsel, we are there.
Yes, can you confirm to the committee that there are two affidavits you have sworn and explain briefly what each one of them deposits to?
And Chairman, I confirm that I swore in two affidavits with regard to evidences in support of the impeachment of His Excellency the Governor of WAJIR, Mohammed Abdi Mahmoud. One of them majorly talks on health issues, and that is the reason why we said in the main motion that Section 43 of the Constitution of Kenya, which allows the public to get the highest attainable health care, has been squandered because of the deplorable states of the health institutions that we serve or our people get. Secondly was about the pending bills, where there were public outcries on the huge pending bills which did not have any goodwill of payment from His Excellency the Governor of WAJIR County Government, Mohammed Abdi Mahmoud.
Now, these two affidavits, one on health, one on pending bills, is that your evidence before this committee?
That is my evidence before this committee, Chairman.
And would you like to submit the two affidavits and the annexures as evidence for this committee's consideration?
Yes, I do submit my affidavit with annexures as evidences to this committee.
Chairman, that's the end of my examination in chief.
Okay, Councillor Nyamodi, welcome.
Thank you very much. My apologies for being late, Chairman.
You have assumed your role as the lead counsel, or we allow Ndewa to be the lead counsel?
He has handed it back to me. I was going to leave it with him, but he's quickly handed it back to me. I've accepted it.
We have to oblige the seniority.
You can take it over from there. The witness has been sworn in. He's confirmed his affidavits. Now it's over to you for cross-examination.
Mr. Mwangi will cross-examine him.
Mr. Mwangi will do it?
Yes, Mr. Mwangi will do this cross-examination.
Okay, we proceed.
Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Dahir, good morning.
Good morning to you.
In your affidavit, you have deponed extensively in respect to pending bills, correct?
Yes.
I wish to take you to paragraph.
Please speak to the mic so that we are able to get your questions.
I wish to take you to paragraph 5 of your affidavit. The affidavit
I would request that you cite affidavit CA1 or CA2 as you ask your questions.
The affidavit is labeled CA2.
Okay.
CA2.
CA2.
Yes. Are you there? Paragraph 5?
Yes, I'm there.
You agree that the issue of pending bill is not unique to Wajir County?
It's not unique to Wajir County, however.
Yes or no?
However,
Mr.
it's
Dahir,
not unique
I'm
to
asking the
Wajir County.
question.
However, Wajir County had the largest pending bills in this country.
Mr.
Secondly,
Mr. Dahir, I am asking the questions you answer, correct? So you agree that
according to the report from the national government, from the national treasury, it's
Mr.
not
Dahir,
unique to the Wajir County government.
you respond to the questions that I'm asking to you so that we save this committee's time, correct?
I say according to Wajir County, national
I will
government.
take you there, Mr. Dahir. Now, it's not unique to Wajir County, correct?
Not unique to Wajir County, however, we have the largest pending bill in the larger country.
Do you have a report to show that Wajir County has the largest pending bill?
Yes, I do have a report
Where
to
is the
show
report?
that evidence.
Where is the report?
The
Where
report
evidence?
is annexure.
Which
It is
annexure?
the report to the pending bills committee, ad hoc committee.
Annexure? Which
Yes.
annexure are you referring to? Annexure showing that Wajir has the
Page
highest pending
13
bills.
to 46. One is that annexure. The second annexure to the same effect at page 10, which is a document supplied to us as the committee on ad hoc.
Mr. Dahir, I'll come to that document you're referring to, correct? Now, let me take you back to paragraph 7 of your affidavit. You make reference to directives that was made by the government, by the president, that accounting officers to pay all pending bills, correct?
Yes.
Is the governor an accounting officer?
The governor is solely
Is the governor an
responsible
accounting
on
officer?
everything that is done. He is to take the leadership role. These
Dahir.
people serve under his capacity as the CEO of Wajir County government.
Mr. Dahir, my question is, do you understand who is an accounting officer in respect to the Public Finance and Management Act?
The accounting officers are
understand?
political appointees appointed by His Excellency the Governor.
Do you
and
understand?
therefore accountable.
So who is the accounting officer for finance, the Department of Finance?
The issue at hand is with regard to the Governor, who had appointed the chief accounting, the accounting officers, and he is solely responsible on behalf of the people of Wajir.
Who is the accounting officer?
I said it again, and that the Governor is solely responsible because these are employees who give information to him at the cabinet meetings, and therefore he knew all that have been going on there.
Mheshimiwa, if you are going to respond to the question that we are asking directly, we are going to take a very short time. Just calm down. So who is the accounting officer for the Department of Finance in Wajir County?
I think my responses are very clear that these are employees
Honorable
of the
Dahir,
county government.
you know, you'll make it easier for us. If you are asked who is the accounting officer, if it's the governor, just say it is the governor. Then we record. Or if you are not sure, we will not punish you. Just say that one, I don't know, is the accounting officer, so that we make progress. Otherwise, if we go round and round, we will not live here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, he is not the accounting officer, but these are people whom he mans them.
That's okay.
That's
so
okay.
we will record that way.
Now, You have also mentioned that at paragraph 10 that there are goods and services that were not paid for, correct?
Which paragraph?
Paragraph 10 of your affidavit.
Paragraph 10 does not talk of goods and services which have
to small and micro enterprises.
Yes.
Do you have evidence for that?
Yes, I have evidence for that.
Have you annexed it here?
Yes. You can check, go through all the documentation from the departments, the LSOs and the awards that were issued by departments.
I take you to paragraph 13 of your affidavit. You have also deponed extensively that as a county assembly, you formed an ad hoc committee, correct?
Correct.
To investigate on the pending bills.
Correct.
And that is your averment at paragraph 13.
Paragraph 13, yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Now, take us to that annexure marked as MIM2. Through the chair, the annexure is at page
2.
Page 2.
This is a motion.
What is that annexure?
Eh?
What is that annexure?
This annexure is a motion which was debated at the County Assembly of WAJIR as a result of the public outcry of the huge amount of pending bills.
Yes.
And the motion was sponsored by his Honorable Shuaib Barre Ahmed, which led to the formation of the ad hoc committee, which I chaired.
Is the motion the one at page 4 of the annexures?
Page?
The motion that was tabled at the assembly.
Page 2.
Page 2 and page 4? What document is at page 4?
Page 4 is the order paper of the County Assembly of WAJIR. However, the content of the motion is at page 2.
Page 6? You have page 6?
Page 6 as well.
Now, at page 6, kindly go to the last paragraph on the notice of motion. Are you there?
Page 6.
Are you there?
Yes.
Kindly read the last paragraph.
This House further resolves that the Controller of Budget halts any further payment of development fund to the county government of WAJIR without established genuine and authentic pending bills from the County Assembly of WAJIR.
So you actually passed a resolution to stop the forwarding of money to the county government. Correct?
It is
correct.
It is with regard, or it is paged on the time when genuine and authentic pending bills of the County Assembly are
just
met.
Interpolate the last paragraph. You passed a resolution that money for the county development fund should not be sent to the assembly, correct? To the government of WAJIR.
With regard to genuine and authentic pending bills, yes.
Which were the genuine and authentic bills?
The genuine and authentic pending bills, there were bills that were submitted to the Controller of Budget in the financial year 18-19 at a cost of 2.6 billion by the government. The county government.
With the resolution of the assembly, would the assembly function in terms of development record and paying pending bills? Yes or no?
The assembly?
Would the county government function without the development fund?
No.
Would the county government pay pending bills?
Huh? Come up again, please.
Would the county government pay pending bills?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Dahir, I take you to paragraph 23 of your motion. Are you there? Of your affidavit, sorry. You have also deponed that in the capacity of that ad hoc committee, you summoned the CEC Finance, correct?
Yes, we summoned the CEC Finance.
And you have annexed two annexures as correspondences or summons to the CEC Finance, correct?
Yes.
And your annexures are at page 12, honorable members.
Page 10.
Annexure number MIM6.
MI05.
MIM05 and
Yes.
MIM06, correct?
Yes.
Now, the annexure that, or the letter dated 26th November 2019 is alleged to have been summoning the CEC Finance, correct?
Correct.
Was it received by the CEC Finance?
Yes, it was received by the CEC Finance.
Is it received, the copy that you have forwarded to this committee, is it received by the department or the CEC Finance?
For this one, no, it was not received.
It was not received.
But the CEC could not appear, could not have been found. But he has received the second one,
Honorable
which is
Dahir.
06.
The one marked annexure MIM06, is it received by the CEC Finance?
Yes, on his behalf.
When was it received?
On the same date, 5th of December 2019.
Now, in the event that the CEC refused to appear before your committee, what other powers do the Assembly have in respect of the CEC Finance?
In the event that the CEC does not appear, we have powers to write to him 3 times according to the standing orders.
What other power?
And the final one is to carry out, to bring him on board through the speaker. We write a summon. We write a summon and we get hold of him. However, this has not gone up to that decision.
What are the
He has refused to accept the first one, the second one.
Honorable Dahir, what are the final powers of the Assembly in respect to the CEC?
To summon the CEC is the final power.
Do you have powers to impeach a CEC?
Yes, we have the powers to impeach a CEC.
Did you undertake that route or avenue?
Not for this CEC. However, the County Assembly has done for another CEC.
Now, Annexure 007, you had made reference to Annexure 007, correct?
Let me go there.
At page 13,
007.
honorable members?
Yes.
What is that document?
That document is the one supplied by CEC, the then CEC for Finance.
What is
which has got his signature at the end, has got a stamp of the CEC himself.
The CEC, as a committee member or a cabinet member for the county government of WAJIR, does he just forward a document without a forwarding letter? Is there a forwarding letter to this? Yes or no?
He appeared before the committee.
Is there a forwarding letter?
He appeared before the committee.
Is there a forwarding letter for this document?
Not forwarding, however, he appeared before the committee and he brought it. And that is the reason why it is signed off by him.
Where is it signed off?
Signed off by him on 12th December 2019 at the page 46. I think you can refer it there also. And this is a genuine document that we received from the CEC.
Who was the CEC then?
Abdi Hakim below.
Now, this was a summon to the CEC Finance and not the governor, correct?
Correct.
You have also deponed that at paragraph 31 of your affidavit that the committee made observations. Have you shared with us a report that of the committee duly adopted by the Assembly? Yes or no?
Yes, adopted by the committee, ad hoc committee, which was as a result of the Assembly's approval.
Has it been adopted by the Assembly?
On behalf of the Assembly, it has been adopted by the committee on ad hoc.
The committee, the ad hoc committee?
Yes.
As I wind up with you, I wish to take you to paragraph 32 of your affidavit. You have mentioned the issue of procurement, that it was done through single sourcing, correct?
Yes, I mentioned.
You have mentioned that procurement is done through single sourcing.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Have you shown any evidence?
The evidence, you can go through the report submitted by the CEC at the Hakim below.
Are you aware that there is a procedure of dispute under the Public Procurement Asset and Disposal Act?
Yes.
Are you aware of the review board under that act?
Come up again.
Are you aware of the board, the review board?
Yes, there is a review board.
Have you attached any complaint in respect to any procurement procedures of Wajir County?
It is part of
Have you attached?
It is part of the recommendation of the
Have
ad
you
hoc
attached
committee.
any complaint from that board?
It's a part of ad hoc committee report.
In respect of this averment, have you attached any complaint to that board?
No, the report was to be submitted to the assembly for it to be adopted, and that complaint, that is a part of the recommendation of the report.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Go with me to paragraph 36. You have deponed extensively about the debt management strategy, correct?
Yes.
And your allegation is that the governor or the county government of Wajir does not have a debt management strategy.
Yes. The county government does not have debt management strategy.
Is that evidence on oath and on your statement and on your affidavit?
On my statement, this is an affidavit that I swore on oath.
Do you have any documents to show to that effect?
It is a public document, and with regard to control of budget,
Honorable Member, if it's a public document, do you have it with you?
It's not part of my affidavit,
not part of your affidavit.
This is what I saw as the person who have sworn in this affidavit.
Now go with me to paragraph 37.
Okay, I'm there.
You have indicated that some officers lack the capacity and they do not understand their roles.
Yes, it is indicated that there was a capacity gap.
May I find out from you who are these officers?
The officers are starting from the chief of staff themselves, the CECs, the procurement officers.
And the procurement officers?
Yes.
Who are appointed by the County Public Service Board, correct?
Were appointed by the County Public Service Board, but these are political employees, some of them, the CECs and the chief of staff are political employees done by His Excellency the Governor.
Mr. Dahir, CEOs, procurement officers are appointed by the County Public Service Board, correct?
Like it or not, the CEC takes the blame.
Just respond to my question.
Who is a political employee of the
They
Governor?
are appointed by the County Public Service Board, correct?
Correct.
Which is a statutory body.
Yes.
Which body conducts interviews and calls for applications.
But the accountability matters through His Excellency the Governor.
In respect of the CECs, they are appointed by the Governor,
yes,
correct? With approval of the Assembly.
With approval of the Assembly.
Are you a member of the Assembly?
Yes, I'm the member of the Assembly.
You participated in the approval?
Yes, I participated
You
in the
approved
Assembly.
someone who is not qualified?
Now, there was change.
Did you?
There was change of members of the Finance Committee.
Mr. Dahir, you approved people who are not qualified?
There was change of the CECs from different departments to departments. And the capacity that we are talking about here, the CEC serving by then was an educationist who did not have the capacity of being a finance person.
Honorable Dahir, there is a question we are not able to record. There is a question put to you whether the Assembly approved the people. So we want to know, were they approved or they got in without approval?
They were approved.
Okay,
but on the capacities in which the Assembly has approved is different by then.
That's all, Your Honor. I pass it to my learned senior, Mr. Ndego.
Sir, I'll just give you the last affidavit. This witness had two affidavits. Affidavit CA, the very first chair.
So, Counsel.
I will work within 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Which Which
CA,
affidavit?
CA, and you move with me to paragraph 9.
Both are CA. Which
Yes.
CA?
I presume CA1, Council.
CA1. And you kindly cooperate so that
Do you have
may
it,
save
Honorable
time.
Dahir? CA1.
I'm there.
Thank you.
Paragraph 8 before, what did you want to achieve with that, witness? And kindly don't answer questions that I have not put to you. What did you want to achieve with that paragraph?
I wanted to achieve in this paragraph, and I quote that before I delve into the complaints.
Yes.
The complaints presented here were
Witness,
about the
I am
issues
dealing with
of the
paragraph
universal
8.
healthcare staffs.
Listen, I know you can talk very fast. We are not in a talking competition.
This was my affidavit, which
We are
I
dealing
swore.
with paragraph 8. Before I delve into the complaint, it is instructive to note that the sum of 2.4 billion was allocated over the said financial year is 22% of the county budget. The percentage exceeding 20 requirement and under the universal health coverage, yes?
Yes.
So the governor or the county government allocated 22% instead of 20%, yes?
Yes.
Was the county assembly involved in the allocation?
It has approved.
Was it involved?
It is involved because.
Okay, were you
it is
present during
involved
that?
because it is a county assembly
Yes.
that approves the budget
Listen
from
to
the.
listen to the next question. Were you involved? Yes.
Personally,
The county assembly.
yes, the county
Good.
assembly is involved
Paragraph
with the budget.
9. What did you want to achieve? It is your allegation that the governor and his cronies have managed to squander all the monies, and they did not spare a dime even during the time the country was facing COVID-19. Yes.
Yes.
How much was squandered?
And the match which
How much was squandered?
The match which was squandered with regard to COVID-19 is
No,
almost
I'm asking.
167,000.
You
67
have
million.
alleged he has managed all the monies, not in respect to particular monies.
The money has been squandered, and there was nothing
So,
to show off.
How
because
much
of
has
the,
been squandered?
Because of the deplorable states of our health facilities.
We shall come to that. I'm asking how much?
For COVID-19,
No, no.
167 million Kenya shillings.
Witness, I have 10 minutes to deal with you. Please
It's okay.
cooperate with my questions. I'm asking, it is your averment that all the monies allocated for health has been squandered. How much?
I can tell you a coin allocated to serve the people of WAJIR, which has been squandered,
Chair,
means
would this witness
money
cooperate?
squandered by the government.
Chair, would this witness cooperate so that he understands the business in which you are engaged in? Someone's political career is at stake. Courtesy of your evidence.
I believe, and
So
this is
kindly
what I
answer the
swore in.
question that I'm putting to you. How much was squandered?
I said these are 2 points. One point is with regard to COVID-19, and another point is with regard to
Okay,
the
so
other
how
money
much?
meant for.
In regard to the first question I'm putting, how much?
If you have a figure, you tell us this much has been squandered so that we also have the benefit of knowing.
Chairman, there is no exact figure. However, a
good.
coin
We
which
move
have
on.
been
You have answered.
mismanaged
Okay.
is
You
the money for
speak
WAJIR
about
account.
the governor's
Okay,
cronies.
very well.
You speak about the governor's cronies. Who are these cronies?
The governor's cronies are the people whom he has entrusted to serve him.
Are they faceless?
They have faces.
They are faceless or they have faces?
They have faces.
Good. Would you name them for
No,
the
I
committee?
will not name them.
Yes?
I will not name them.
Why would you
Because
not name them?
it is known, because the finance
Listen,
department.
why would you not name these individuals?
The finance department is managed under.
Sorry, I may not pronounce your name correctly. Pardon me if I don't. Abdurrahman. Why would you not name these persons if you are interested in protecting public finance?
Naming them with regard to how money has been spent has been talked or have been delved much by the previous witnesses.
It's you on the dock. Why would you not name them?
It's me on the dock, and I said that under the capacity of the leadership of the governor, those who
Okay.
are under him this money have been spent
upon this,
on that way.
Upon learning this mismanagement of public funds, as a diligent public officer, duly sworn to protect the same, did you record any complaint with any organ responsible for overseeing this?
There are a good number of statements. The county assembly,
did you not?
The county assembly is one of the authorities entrusted to safeguard the public resources.
Here, it's not the county assembly testifying; it is you testifying on their behalf. Did you record any complaint either with the EACC, the DCI, or any other organ?
At my level, at the county assembly, there were statements with regard to how money were used. And the county assembly was to oversight the executive on that.
I'm not asking expenditures. I'm asking theft of these monies. Did you record any complaint in that regard?
Through expenditure programs, that is where thieves are and money is squandered.
Excuse me, Honorable Dahir, you know, you can make life very easy for the committee. The question is very simple. Did you record a complaint to any of the investigative agencies? If it's yes, you say yes. If it's no, no. I mean, I don't think you have committed any crime if you did not, and if you did, you have not committed a crime either.
Mr. Chairman, not at my own personal level, but I think it's
you've answered the question. Let's
it's
go to
known
paragraph
to the
10.
larger public that WAJIR County government has been raided by EACC for quite some time, just because of the money squandered.
I am satisfied with the answer that you have not. Paragraph 10, what did you want to achieve? You allege that the WAJIR health system is at its worst since independence, yes?
Yes.
What were the comparative parameters during independence and now?
The comparative parameters that we use,
yes, during independence.
Among them is the public outcry that exists currently.
You said here.
I don't want to refer. During independence, I was not there.
Okay. You have answered.
But I don't want to refer that there is a public outcry as we speak currently. And a good number of health facilities have been not functional.
Mr.
And I remember,
I have not yet put another question to you. Kindly listen to me. Kindly confirm that you do not have any evidence as to how the state was during independence, yes?
According to reports, not an evidence that I was there. Okay. According to reports.
And you're not able to say whether there is improvement of the public health since then to now?
When my electorates are on complaints day in, day out, as I represent them at the county assembly, that is the time when I will say that challenges are.
So this information about the state of health during independence, is it matters that are within your own knowledge or matters conveyed to you by your electorates?
Matters within my own knowledge and as well those that I received from my electorates.
Paragraph 11, what did you want to achieve? Yes?
Paragraph 11.
Yes?
With regard to complaints and petitions served by the people of Uasin to the county assembly of WAJIR.
Yes, what did you want to achieve?
To correct the the menace that was existing in the Department of Public Health and Medical Services.
What was existing at this hospital called Habasweni Sub-County Referral Hospital?
Yes.
Who dragged it into crisis? Who dragged this sub-county hospital into crisis? Is it the governor?
Under his leadership role?
No. Who dragged it into crisis?
The CEC under the leadership of the governor?
Is the CEC the superintendent of that hospital?
No, he mans the department.
What crisis
and the governor
in particular?
Mans the responsibility of the CEC.
What crisis are you referring to?
It's found there that the casual workers have not been paid. They have downed their tools.
Only the casual workers.
Not only that, you can see the attachment there, page 5 to 14.
Dahir, only the crisis revolving casual workers, yes?
Go through the page 5 to 14. It's not only the casual workers.
So
this has got a support document.
What descriptive and concrete nature, concise, was the crisis? Was it about the employees? What crisis was it? So that the committee can understand.
The crisis of not paying the casual workers their
Oh,
dues,
good.
one, about staffing, and about the poor working conditions the health staff were in Abaswein Sub-County Referral Hospital.
Where did you get the information of the poor working conditions?
I represent them at the County Assembly of WAJIR as their representative. I have their things at, at my fingertips.
How did you establish about the poor working conditions?
By visiting the hospital?
By visiting.
Yes.
And I hope and understand that you're a health officer fully qualified, yes?
I'm not a health officer. I represent them.
What is your qualification?
My qualification, I hold a master's degree in strategic management.
Strategic management?
Yes.
You think it plays a role in the hospital management?
I do represent them. So I have to visit, make a visit
about
and
the
see.
Representation. I know you represent them. I am asking, your qualifications plays a role in evaluating the nature and the status of a hospital?
Yes, because of being representing them at the County Assembly.
Did you generate a report subsequent to your visit?
Yes.
Where is the report?
Go through the petition itself.
Lead us to where you've annexed the alleged report of the visit.
And go through page 16 to 20,
Yes,
which is a petition of the County Assembly.
You know, I am on paragraph 11, and I am dealing with a report generated by the statistician. That's what we are dealing with.
A report?
Where is the report? Did you generate a report, yes or no?
On my representative, on being,
No, I know your capacity.
on being the representative,
This committee understands your capacity. We are not interested in your capacity. We are interested at the execution of this task.
I do it through statements, through petitions at the
Did you
county, at the
generate a
floor of the
report of
County
the
Assembly.
crisis? Move to number 12. What did you want to achieve? Yes?
Go to its annexure. I believe that annexure has
You are
got-
saying as a result of the public outcry for my constituents, the members of the public petitioned the county assembly over the deplorable status of that hospital, yes?
Yes.
When was this report? The petition?
The petition, yes.
When was it? Which date?
Dated 8th April 2021.
2021, 8th April 2021, yes?
Yes.
When were these crises?
Crises have been occurring
They have been
year
occurring.
in, year out.
Good. They have been occurring. When did you commence the process, or when did you conceive the process of the impeachment of the governor?
Towards the end of April.
Towards the end of April. So this was in preparation of that malice, yes?
No.
Good. We move on
no,
to paragraph 14. Address me on paragraph 14, Mr. Witness.
On paragraph 13.
Yes.
It's talking about
a petition, correct?
Not a petition. This, this was a statement.
Yes. You are saying this petition was tabled before the county assembly on 4th.
Council,
that is an oversight. This was a statement.
Winding up,
I only have about 3-4 questions.
Okay. That was a statement, your senior counsel.
You know, if you address me as senior counsel in the presence of senior counsel Haben Nasil and the chair, you will be in contempt.
Then counsel.
Kindly. Sir.
Proceed.
Address me.
It's good to spice the proceedings with some humor. You know?
Address me. Address me on paragraph 14. You are speaking about a petition. Yes?
Yes.
And you're
Paragraph
saying
14,
that it was
there was a
tabled
petition.
before. Are you saying it was a misconception of facts? Are you saying it was a misconception of facts?
No, the date, this is an oversight on the date.
I'm asking, did you say it was a misconception?
No, I'm not saying it was a misconception.
Okay, so where is this petition if you're not misconceived?
The petition is the same as the petition that was petitioned by the Sub-County Referral Hospital of
What
Abaswein.
action was taken by the county assembly?
Yes, it was taken by the County Assembly.
What action was taken?
It was tabled.
Yes.
and it was handed over to the Committee on Health
Was
and
there
Medical
a report
Services.
that was generated following that filing?
Not yet.
So
but
it is matter that is pending
but
before the
preliminary report are that when they visited,
A moment.
they
a moment.
affirmed on the
Dahir.
issue that was there.
Dahir. So these are matters pending before the county assembly, correct?
Correct, but
Good.
preliminary
We move on
report
to
are there.
paragraph 18. Address me. Paragraph 18. You are saying that
on the death of
the county lost its longest serving and most dedicated member, yes?
yes,
May his soul rest in eternal peace. But how was the governor involved?
the governor was involved in the misuse of the COVID the money that was set aside to prepare the county to combat the COVID-19 disease.
So you want to involve the governor in a force majeure issue?
No, it's a point that I saw.
Do you sympathize with the family of the deceased?
I do sympathize with the family of the deceased, and that is the reason why we had an ad hoc committee to investigate on his death.
So what was the finding of that ad hoc committee? Did that ad hoc committee attribute the death of this officer to the governor?
They gave out a report on the mismanagement of the processes of combating the COVID-19.
Now that you are a master's holder, I'm also thinking that you're conversant with what is happening in India, yes?
Yes.
You understand that the pandemic has hit them hard?
Yes.
Do you attribute that to Prime Minister Modi?
Yes, to some extent.
Okay. Move with me finally to paragraph 23 and 28 and 29. Paragraph 23, what did you want to achieve? Yes?
Paragraph 23.
Yes.
On how the government will seek emergency funds to tackle the crisis of the COVID-19.
Yes. So what is the fault that you attribute to the governor in that respect?
The governor, with regard to emergency funds, how it is going to be withdrawn from the county coffers without the approval of the county assembly.
Does the
and
governor
the governor under his leadership role,
a moment,
the CEC,
is the governor a signatory to these emergency funds?
No, but he takes leadership role of all his officers.
We shall come to that. Is he a signatory?
No.
Who is responsible for the withdrawal, the banking, or whatever? Who is responsible?
The CECs.
The CEC. What about paragraph 28, 29, 24? Witness, very fast. Before I take it to paragraph 28. What do you want to achieve?
On the supplementary budget?
Yes.
Where the county government, the county assembly approved 194 million for the county executive.
Yes.
To combat the COVID-19 menace.
Yes.
On the way the money has been used.
Yes. Where is the report on how the money has been used?
And go to, we have got a special audit report.
You want to allege that there was misuse, correct?
A special audit, and on the special audit report from the Auditor General.
Have you attached it here?
It's a public document, and I can be able to provide.
Have you attached that document?
Not attached, but it's a public document.
Are you
which
aware?
Can be provided.
Are you aware that this Senate is dealing with those matters currently?
Yes, I'm aware.
Good. Did you attend the meeting for the 5th of May?
I was not invited to attend.
Are you aware it was taking place?
I was aware that it was taking place.
28 and 27. 27, there's a paragraph, there's a table there, yes? There's a table that you have structured, correct?
Yes.
One appearing as number 6, yes? Kindly, just very fast, what does this table want to capture?
This table is a summary table tabulated from the special audit by the Auditor General.
Yeah.
And therefore, the money
which
was set aside
this
for...
This table is an extract from the Auditor General's report, correct?
Yes.
Good. 28.
That the county government ought to have in place an approved work plan, budget and procurement plan that indicates how each of the funds were to be used for prevention and mitigation of COVID-19.
Is it the sole responsibility of the governor to generate plans, budgets, and procurement plans?
Under his leadership,
I'm not asking about
under his leadership still.
I'm asking, is it his sole responsibility? And I hope as a master's holder you understand the word sole.
Under his leadership,
do you or do you not understand the word sole?
Where the CECs sit in the cabinet, it is their responsibility.
I'm just about to conclude with you, but not before you tell us whether you understand the word sole. Do you or do you not?
He is not the sole, but
Good.
he supervises those elements.
Paragraph 41.
Should be winding up.
This will be my last paragraph.
Okay.
Sorry, my last question. Paragraph 41.
I'm there.
What do you want to achieve?
That the money which was disbursed by the national government.
Yeah, just read out paragraph 41.
The funds were disbursed by the national government to the county government, citing urgency to deal with COVID-19 pandemic, and therefore failure by the CEC to invoke section 135(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 to utilize the funds implies that the funds were sent to the county government.
I'm satisfied with that. Whose failure, according to your testimony?
By the CEC.
By the CEC. Is the governor
under the capacity of being an employee of the
is the
county
governor
government.
the CEC?
The CEC, the governor has got the leadership role.
I'm asking, is the governor the CEC?
I believe that this is done. I believe and I saw that this is done in the cabinet meetings where the governor chairs.
I want you to testify on what you know, not what you believe. We all have different beliefs.
I have driven my point there, but it is the CEC.
So, is the CEC's failure correct? Did you take any action following that failure?
Which has brought us to this session.
Did you take any action?
The action has brought us to this session.
I want to take you to the last page, the jurat. Yes, the last page.
Which page?
The last one on your affidavit, where we have the stamp. You're able to see this?
Yes.
You say who you appeared before a commissioner for oath called Dunstan Omari?
Yes, I appeared.
When did you appear?
On 11th May.
Where did you appear?
In Nairobi.
Where exactly in Nairobi?
In Nairobi at his office.
Where? Where is the office located?
In Nairobi at his office.
Where is the office located?
I think you can find for yourself that office where it is.
Chair, I would have to have that question answered. And the purpose of the question has legal merits.
I think he
where
knows.
Did you appear witness?
I think you know where this office is there, so it's better I think you can find for yourself.
I think the question is, where did you appear when you took oath? The council wants to know where the office is.
I think, Chairman, if you will be asked on the governor's office, you will obviously say the governor's office, and everyone will be able to know that the governor's office is in WAJIR. So I believe that this office is known to him.
Do I take it that you never appeared before in a commissioner for oath? And would you...
I have my signature there, and that one affirms and confirms that I appeared before him.
Where is this farm located? In Nairobi?
I think you can, for that one, you can be able to find for yourself where it is.
The Honorable Hussein Abdurrahman Dahir, it's a very simple exercise. When you are asked a question, you respond. If you respond to a question through another question,
but Mr.
we'll
Chairman,
stay here the whole day. The question is very simple, and we just want to record. These questions are recorded. You are being asked. You appeared before. It's called the Dunstan Omari, Advocate Commissioner for Oaths. So if I understand the question, he's asking, where is the office of Danistan Omari? It's a very simple question.
Mr. Chairman, I mentioned in Nairobi, and that is a location itself. Nairobi is a location itself, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think I've answered this question very well, and I need your protection from there. I met him on person. Personal description, I cannot go in, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Thank you for telling me that.
Counsel. Senior Counsel Nasir, any re-examination?
I think first, can my learned friend withdraw his last statement? It is unbecoming for counsel what he has described. I mean, he can cross-examine, but I think his last word, when he says that the witness has nothing to offer but his lies. Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Counsel, maybe
you can't make that judgment.
Mr. Chairman, I do not.
Counsel, can you just repeat what you said? So that
I said, Mr. Chairman, that the witness has nothing more useful to offer other than his lies captured in his purported affidavit by the failure to him to identify the commissioner means that this question is an issue.
I think the best way to say is you put it to him, then he either agrees or denies.
I will be guided by the wisdom of senior counsel.
You can put it as a concluding remark, but you can put it, then he has an opportunity to agree with you or refuse to agree with you.
I will be guided by the wisdom of the two senior counsel. I'm still learning the rope.
Yeah, so can you put your question properly?
Mr. Witness, you feel that you have anything more useful to offer to save the sinking ship?
I think your previous item summarizes everything.
I'm just asking you a question. Do you think yes or no?
Yes.
Good. You'll have another bite of the cherry next time.
Senior counsel?
Yes, slightly taken back by that rhetoric, but I will ask you. I'll ask one question, Mr. Chairman. Now, Mr. Dahir, you have two affidavits. You have two affidavits before the committee. Are you with me?
Yes, I'm there with you.
Yes, you have two affidavits.
Yes.
One of them basically talks about the health sector. The other one talks about vending pills. And when you, my learned friend was asking you a lot of questions about the many problems of WAJIR. A lot of accountability, a lot of lack of development, failing health care, lack of even water. Whom do you blame for the problems of WAJIR, and why do you blame?
Through the chairman, I blame His Excellency the Governor.
And why?
Because he had to take the leadership role of everything going on, because the 756,000 people of WAJIR County, responsibilities are on his shoulders. That is the reason why I blame His Excellency the Governor.
Any other person you blame?
Not at all.
Thank you very much. That's all.
Okay, we'll invite the honorable senators if they have any questions for you to clarify. They can ask now. Any senator who wants any clarification? Senator Linturi.
Chairman, thank you for this opportunity. I want to be as brief as possible. During cross-examination, the witness indicated that he participated in the approval of the CECs, and we understand the responsibilities given to the CECs by law, and specifically Section 5 of the County Government Acts, you may remember well, requires of any CEC to have experience, maybe of 5 years, and competent, and with a degree from a recognized university, and the expertise to run the department that he or she is being appointed to. Now, this begs the question, Chairman, because there was a mention that yes, they didn't participate in the approval of the officers. But later, I don't know whether there was a reshuffle or whatever it is, but they alluded to the fact that the subsequent office holders, like, were not vetted or the assembly did not participate. That is the clarity, Chair, I am seeking.
Thank you. Through the chairman. Chairman, first of all, when the CECs are being approved at the county assembly, it's known that the majority have their way, their say, and the minority have their way. Sorry, majority have their way. And that might be the reason why I might have voted otherwise, Chairman. One is that one. Secondly, is that there were different kinds of reshuffles for that department, as was explained by my previous colleagues. So that is as well another reason on the incompetence of the then CEC in that docket.
Senator Linturi, I think he has answered. He says the vetting took place, and the way he was not satisfied, he voted against. But the majority carried their day. But you heard your say.
Yes. Okay. Similarly, the way this committee will be working on.
Thank you. Any other senator? Any senator who has any question for Dahir? Seems there is. You have another question? Okay, Senator Linturi.
You know, I don't want people to take or make a joke of these proceedings and the time we commit in trying to gather as much information as is possible, because this process is a serious process, and out of the exercise we are doing, we will be in one way or another trying to develop the law, especially in terms of impeachments, because it's really quite a new phenomenon. So, Mr. Dahir, the question I am raising is, you know, when you come to give evidence, and the evidence is given by way of an affidavit, sworn, signed by you and commissioned by a commissioner oath, and why we are being examined is to test the veracity of your statements, of your evidence. Why do you find it difficult to explain where Mr. Omari's office is, if at all you appeared before him? Because I don't have to any doubt that you never appeared before him. Or tell us I didn't appear before him, or probably we sent somebody, and I agreed with the statements as was given.
Mr. Chairman, I think my appearance before that advocate has been summed up by my signature on the affidavit I saw in. And that was a statement that I mentioned during cross-examination. And there is a stamp indicating where the person is, where the main, it's habitual, where it's habitual. I think that one sums my previous statement on that.
Senator Linturi, are you satisfied with the answer? Okay. Senator Were.
Honorable Dahir, is it your first time in Nairobi, or you have been to Nairobi before?
Not my first time in Nairobi.
So you know Nairobi?
Yes.
You can tell where the city center is, where Kericho is, where
Yes.
Langata
Not
is?
all the places, but those as you mentioned, I know.
So in the one place that you signed this affidavit, where was it in Nairobi?
Somewhere at Langata Road. Sorry, Lenana Road.
Lenana Road?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So we record that you appeared before Danson Omari in his offices along Lenana Road.
Yes.
That is question. Okay, seems there is none. Then you are released.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that closes the case for the county assembly of WAJIR.
Okay, thank you. So we now move on to the governor's case. And I did promise that I'll give an update on the ruling we made yesterday. Yesterday, on the request of Senior Councilman Nasir Abdullahi, we issued summons against Osman Habdi Jamal, invoking the provisions of Standing Order number 9 of the 5th schedule, Article 125 of the Constitution, and the provisions of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act. I've gotten an update from the Office of the Clerk that the summons were duly issued yesterday, but as up to midday today, they have not been able to trace Osman Habdi Jamali. So they have continued and have intensified efforts to trace him and effect summons. As soon as I get any other update, I'll issue a communication to this special committee. Thank you. So, Governor, you can open your case by calling your first witness.
We're ready to call the first witness, and the first witness will be the county secretary. The county secretary.
Yeah, you can take the witness, Doc. Can the witness be sworn? You want to be sworn or you want to affirm?
Yes.
Do you want to be sworn or you want to affirm?
I want to be sworn.
Okay. The Quran is there.
Okay. Kisungu. Kisungu.
You said your name is
Abdullah. This thing was not sanitized for you to be
sanitized. No, I'm told it was.
It was. And it's removed.
Can remove.
You can proceed.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I, Abdullah Hassan Maalim, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this special committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Good morning, Mr. Abdullahi Hassan Maalim.
Good afternoon, Council.
Would you kindly just give a description about yourself?
Thank you so much, Council. And with the permission of the Chair, I will wish to open with a verse of the Holy Quran. I'm a Muslim. It talks about Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. It just translates to mean, oh my Lord, open my chest for me and make my task easy for me and make loose the knot from my tongue so that they understand my speech. I want you to understand my submissions, and I'm very willing to really give the truth and nothing but the truth as a Muslim. Number two, I'm the County Secretary WAJIR, the acting County Secretary WAJIR.
Your full name, sir?
Abdullah Hassan Maalim is my name.
Abdullah Hassan. Council, where is his affidavit?
It's contained in this file.
You know you brought boxes of files. You need to guide us. So, you know, senators, honorable senators, you now look for the executive box of files. We were dealing with the county assembly. Now they are marked. Okay. Is it marked? It's marked witness statement, but not numbered. It's not numbered. Are we together? There are so many. You'll bear with us as we are trying to sift through to pick your file. You are there, senators? Are you there? Okay, you can proceed.
The document appearing on the first page of that file.
Okay, we can proceed, Council.
And that's
we start by the commitment of yesterday. You had said how many minutes?
We said 30 minutes, Chairman.
Okay.
Honorable members, through the chair, that's the only file containing all the statements from the witnesses. So even subsequently, you'll also be referring to the same file. And the next chairs will be provided because they're also contained in different files. We have arranged our case in a manner that each witness testifies to the issues, and the issue contained in the motion are contained in different files. So they'll be supplied through the kindness of the chair. Abdullah Hassan, kindly tell us about yourself.
Thank you so much, Council.
In that question, address your background, your education background, and your current status.
Thank you so much. I'm Abdullah Hassan Maalim, the Acting County Secretary, County Government of WAJIR. I'm a career civil servant. I've been working for the last 20 years. In terms of my education, I have masters in education, leadership and policy. I've been a teacher, a principal, and served in the county government of WAJIR from the onset to date. Thank you.
When you say you have served in the county of WAJIR from the onset to date, what does that mean?
From the first cycle, that is from 2013 December up to now, where I served in various positions, from a chief officer to currently the acting county secretary.
Where were you attached? Which organ?
I started with being a chief officer roads, moved to education, public health, short stint of being a deputy county secretary, and I'm now the acting county secretary of the county government of WAJIR. Thank you.
So have you recorded a statement to once defending the governor?
Yes, as the head of the county public service, when I saw...
When did you record the statement?
I recorded that statement. If you see at my statement, it is on 19th.
Abdullah, you'd wish to rely on the content of this affidavit, statement?
Okay.
You would wish to rely on the content?
Yes, yes, I wish to rely on the content of this statement.
Are you aware of the charges facing the governor?
Yes, I'm very much aware.
Are you aware of the consequences in the event the Senate finds him culpable?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
So you understand the weight on your shoulders, yes?
Very well, very well.
I'll take you issue by issue very fast. I want you to address issue number 1. What was the allegation?
Okay, there's this allegation on the abuse of power.
Yes.
And authority.
Yes.
Where the governor is being alleged that he has abused his power by reshuffling the chief of staff finance 6 times.
Yes.
And in my knowledge as the head of the public service, as a coordinator of the county government affairs, I'm aware the reshuffles done were only 4.
Yes.
And if you look at section 45.5 of the County Government Act, it expressly gives the governor the mandate of reassigning his chief of SAS, and there are no restrictions on the number of reassignments His Excellency the governor can do. So, as the head of the public service, as being the procedural advisor of the governor, I see nothing abnormal in that.
Is the governor supposed to seek anybody's approval before the reshuffles?
No. As much as we give the advices and he feels in his own wisdom that the reshuffles will improve service delivery, as per Article 175B of the Constitution of Kenya, the governor has a mandate to expressly do so.
You heard the witness testifying, the PW1 who testified. He alleged that the purpose for which the reshuffles were done was to make sure that there is no accountability and there is no institutional memory. What's your evidence towards that?
I think so. I said earlier, and I want to reiterate that the governor had not made any mistakes. In the event the reshuffles were done in bad faith, there were routes for or avenues for grievances and redress. Any of those chief of SAS who were reassigned have never registered any complaints with any competent court of law or any other places. So to me, I see it as a normal reassignment and an administrative action to at least improve service delivery.
It was alleged that the reason why these reshuffle were perpetrated was so as to create an avenue for plunder of county resources. What's your statement? Unless
proven and substantiated, I don't see it as holding any water, because I'm not aware of any of those reassignments with that kind of knowledge.
When a reshuffle occurs in the county government, does that particular officer move in that office with all the office documents, files, the new office, or there is perpetuity?
I think so. There is the issue of the perpetual succession. Governments are there to stay, and offices are in their life cycle eternal by themselves. So officers have to handle. So the person does not move with items, the normal.
So there's no loss of institutional memory, yes?
No loss at all. That's why the head of the county public service will come in when we require some important issues of capacity improvements or issues that require some mentoring.
Were these reshuffles done in malice, in pursuit of personal vendetta, or in bad faith?
I think so. We do not want to imply what each and every person can really attribute.
Were they done in bad faith?
They were not done in bad faith. That's why I say there were no evidences for any court or other redress mechanisms.
You have, I want to take you to allegation number 2. Yes? You understand the question, the issue there? There is an allegation of nepotism, favorism, and other improper activities or corruption practices. The governor has allowed his wife to literally run the affairs of the county authority.
I think so. Section 44 of the County Government Act really express outrightly the role of the county secretary as the secretary to the county executive committee.
Yes.
And functions of the county government are normally coordinated at that level.
Yes.
I'm not aware of the First Lady being a member of the county executive committee, and I'm not aware of any meeting that we have undertaken where she was in attendance. So I feel that is an excess.
They allege that the governor has abdicated his duties and delegated the wife to deal with the matters of the county government of WAJIR.
From 2018 to
what
date.
Do you say?
From 2018 to date, and I alluded earlier, as the procedural advisor, I've been close to the governor, and I believe there is no one part. We met with Her Excellency, the First Lady, on very substantive matters of the county government, in its deliberations and running. But as a social person, you might meet her elsewhere. But I want to go on record by saying that there is nowhere.
Other than her status as the First Lady of the government of WAJIR, does she hold any other office that you're aware of?
There is no other office I'm aware of that she holds in WAJIR.
So where do you place these allegations?
I see that allegation has been not true, and I see it as a bit far-fetched.
They say that it's an open secret that in WAJIR County and far beyond its borders, that Kahira Omar is a supreme leader. Do you share in this open secret?
Statements are normally very subjective, and every person has his own right to make some statements. But I feel it as an innuendo and a hot air. It's not true, and it does not have a place.
Kindly confirm whether the governor is in full control and in grip of the running of the affairs of the county government of WAJIR.
The governor is the chief executive officer of the county. There is no lacuna. He is in charge. From all the reshuffles and all the executive minutes I've annexed, you could see his presence, and it all means that he's in charge.
Let's go to the next allegation. Yes, the governor has been accused of usurping the powers of the County Public Service Board by appointing a person to hold the office. And they say that the governor has allowed Jeff Moria to participate in the running of the affairs of the county government. What's your take on that?
I think that this issue.
Yes.
Law?
Yes.
But that aside, Jeff Mwangi was employed by on 1st November 2017, and he was advising on economic matters. His jobs and work was clearly cut as per his appointment letter. Sometimes in 7 March 2018, the county secretary then, the former
yes,
employed him.
The former county secretary. Yes.
Invoking Section 72 of the County Government Act on Deployments through a letter, Rev number.
Witness, do you have that deployment letter? Where do we find it? Is it the one that appears as Annexure 24C?
Yes, it's the one appearing as.
Honorable members, do you have?
The annexures, which is on the pocket of.
So, Council, you'll do very well if you carried members with you. You are making reference to paragraph 17.9?
Yeah, we are referring to, paragraph 17.9 of the witness statement.
And where will we find that annexure?
You would find it in box labeled as 24.
Box 24.
C. It appears in this form. And it's labeled as response to the Senate on the impeachment of the WAJIR County Governor, violation of Section 59 of the County Government Act by usurping the powers. It may lead you by just looking at 2.2. Yeah, it's written violation of Section 59B.
Okay, you proceed as we try to look for that particular file.
Chair,
proceed.
Chair,
proceed.
On a point of order.
Senator Uta, what's the point of order?
That we really need to follow what the council is submitting.
Senators, if you have these
we are finding it very difficult.
Do you have orange box? I know there are
Chair.
so many, but we'll try.
We are finding it very difficult to follow up.
There are so many orange, eh?
Yeah, there are so many, so...
It is written, Senator Uta, it's written 2, Roman 1, Roman 2, and Roman 3.
Chair, will be there a better way, even giving them 5 minutes to rearrange them, I don't know. Because we are really finding it hard.
Chair, what's the title of the one he's referring to?
Are we there? Are we there?
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
Yes.
Now, you'll get the documents by marking, not by page. So you look at the marking.
Chair.
Council.
Yes.
You know, you are the one who should be guiding us. I'm sure.
We are looking at.
You're
Yes, Chair.
properly instructed. Eh?
Yes, Chair. We are
So
looking
to
at
make
our
our
next.
work easier.
Yes, Chair.
This is marked. What you are referring to is C.
Is marked as 24 C. Next year 24C.
24CE. 4CE.
And it's County Secretary Deployment Letter as Head of Accounting Service.
Senators, I hope we are together. Okay.
Witness, who executed this deployment?
The County Secretary.
Go to tag H, senators, tag H. Tag H. Are we there? It will be, the tag will be...
It's a letter dated 28
H, the marking
June.
for identification, it will be 24C. We are there? Yeah. So we are referring to the letter dated 7th of March 2018. Are we there? Letter of 7th March 2018. Okay, proceed.
No, we are looking at the letter dated 28th June 2018. It's a very fast document. It appears in this nature, Honorable Senators.
Then it's not 24C.
24.
Chair, it's not 24C.
It's not 24C.
It is
Sorry.
not. This is 24/9 or something.
22, sir, 22A.
Huh?
Then, sorry, it's 22A. I'm well guided by my assistants.
What is the date of the letter?
28th June 2018. Is that what you have seen here? What is that?
28th of June.
22A. Sorry, might be using some different marking.
Okay.
22A. Yes, 22A.
Now, okay, if I was to follow, that should be the first letter.
Yes, the first letter.
Now you misled us. We
I'm
were
so
looking
sorry,
at
Mr. Chair.
24C.
I'm sorry, Chair.
Okay, proceed.
I think so. Maybe our council, what has he has shown you was
Yes.
the acting appointment. It was 24.
Yes, you were looking at that letter, witness,
Yes.
dated 28th June 2018. What's the content of that letter?
The one on the acting appointment as Chief of Staff for
The one
Finance
that
and
has been
Audit.
offered to you. Just have a look at it.
This one, yeah. So I thought we were discussing the
No,
cases.
we are
of-
discussing the letter. Just witness.
Okay, this is an acting appointment which was given to the Chief of Staff for Finance and Audit.
Yes, that's
An indication that the governor has done his own reshuffles, and Ahmed Guhad Umar was appointed as the acting Chief of Staff for Finance and Audit. So that's why, Council,
Yes.
I felt we are not discussing the right question on Jeff
we are
Moria.
discussing Jeff.
Jeff should have been 24A.
That's why.
So that is not 22, not 23.
That's-
We will have moved to 24.
Yes, that's why I indicated
So I wanted to
24A.
guide you, but it's very difficult to guide councils.
24A is one that deals with the deployment.
Okay. So this, the one on the deployment is on 24.
Correct.
There is where Jeff was appointed as the economic advisor
Yes.
on 1st November 2017, and his roles are very clear on that part. That is followed by 24B, where Jeff has accepted the appointment as an economic advisor.
Yes.
Later on, he was deployed as acting head of treasury in WAJIR County when the vacancy has fallen in that place.
Yeah,
and that is the letter we were on,
Yes.
where the former county secretary, Ahmed Sahal Omar, has signed for the
Correct.
deployment.
So who actuated this deployment?
The county secretary.
Was the governor involved?
He was not involved.
Would you tell us what happened or what became of Jeff Moria and the the county secretary later? What happened to them?
Later on, unfortunately, on 26 November 2018, along with two other officers, one of them being the CEC Finance and the county secretary.
Is it the county?
There were
a moment. Is this the county secretary who had deployed him?
Yes.
Good. Move on.
So there were on
yes,
and they were later on charged. And if you look on my statement, on 15th March 2021.
A moment, witness. There is 26.1 million irregular withdrawal. Yes.
So if you look at that,
yes,
Mr. Jeff Gidinji, along with the other two, who are the CEC Finance and the the county secretary, they were accused of abuse of office, and they were accused of misappropriation of 26.1 million.
26.1 million.
Yes.
Who had accused them?
EACC, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
Yes. What followed therein after?
As per the rules, once somebody is charged in a court of law, we interdict them on half pay. We did accordingly, and later on he was convicted on 15th March 2021, and the case having been determined, where they either pay a fine of 800,000 or in default they should serve a term of 4 years in prison. So once that determination was done, we have suspended them from the county government of WAJIR.
You're referring to the case, the Chief Magistrate's case number 47 of 2018?
Yes, yes, I'm referring to that.
Are you able to tell us how many witnesses appeared in that case? Or are you able to recall whether there is a witness whom you know appeared before that case?
Yes, I was one of the witnesses who appeared, because I took over immediately from him.
Yes.
So to certify and authenticate the minutes, I appeared as a witness along with His Excellency the Governor, seated here, who also appeared for that case.
So you all appeared to testify against Jeff Moria?
To testify against not only Moria, the whole of them.
County Secretary,
yes,
and
to put record straight as per the documentations before us.
What motivated your attendance? Were you testifying against Jeff Moria and the other two co-accused persons?
I was invited.
Just a minute. Out of malice, or were you in pursuit of the tenet of good governance?
We were in pursuit of the tenet of good governance.
Yes. What else about Jeff Moria?
So once that was done,
was that a substantive appointment, or it was an enacting capacity?
He was substantively appointed and competitively sourced through the county assembly.
The other allegation, Public Finance Management Act failing to establish audit committee for the county. That is allegation number 18 on the statement. You're aware that the governor is facing that charge?
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes, what's your evidence?
I've seen the charge sheet from the assembly.
Yeah, very briefly, yes.
Okay, but then I would wish to know that.
Has that committee been established?
The one on the audit committee?
Yes.
The audit committee was not established, but then we have done some attempts towards establishing of the committee, and I will wish maybe to take you straight to, that is paragraph what? Which paragraph
Paragraph
is that?
18.
Paragraph 18.
Yes. And your response appears at paragraph 19.
The county government of WAJIR, through the County Public Service Board, has done the advertisement for the vacant positions in the audit committee via a notice in the Standard newspaper on 19th June, and they were circulated also in the county notice boards.
Most crucial, who is responsible of establishing this committee?
It is the County Public Service Board, upon request made by the County Executive Committee member in charge of finance.
Is the governor responsible?
Is not.
Did he facilitate the process of the establishment? Evidence?
Did
he not?
Yes.
Did did he facilitate the process of the establishment of this committee?
He has done it as long as there are no hindrances, which are alluded to, done by the governor. Because the board made the attempt of advertising, they also received the applications, they have also minuted as to the reasons why they could not conclude that work. So I feel the governor is not involved
What
in any way.
inhibited the establishment of that committee? Is it in advent of the governor or some other natural occurrences?
It is not the governor, it is as a result of some administrative failures arising from the applicants who are not non-responsive. 10 applicants have applied for that, and there's only 2 of them who are qualified for that positions.
Is it your evidence that COVID-19 has inhibited in one way or the other the continuation of the establishment?
Yes. Once that was done, the board made a decision in its meeting on 23rd September 2020, via their minutes, that the position be re-advertised.
And because of time, are you inviting the senators to look at Annexure 8A, B, and C?
Yes, yes.
And when they retire to write their judgment?
Yes.
Or their findings?
Yes.
Allegation number 20. It appears there is a question of the budget forum county budget consultation process as stipulated, yes?
Similar process. The CEC, Finance and his team are expected to draw the TOR. Once they draw the TOR, we normally...
Is that process
ongoing? We started the process, and we have also...
Is it work in progress?
Yes, work in progress.
Do you blame the governor for that?
No.
Has the governor put in place the necessary facilities to facilitate the procurement?
He has done it.
22. The governor is accused of gross violation of that section by failing to give an annual address. Yes?
I think so. The governor has given addresses, but the problem is the specificity at the venue.
Sorry, there is a small intervention here from Senator Issa. Yes, Senator.
Which file is it?
That will be found in, I don't know how to file H. Do you have H? File H. It's marked file H.
It's marked as H.
Yeah.
That's where those are affidavits, sorry, annexures are domiciled.
Annexure H is there.
Yes. And so because of time, we are invoking the committee and pleading with them to look at that annexures when you retire to render yourself. Okay.
Proceed, Council.
Okay.
Okay, witness, what is contained in that file containing the annexures?
The one on H?
Yes.
Okay, the one on H, if you look at it, we have the first document.
Also, next time you
8A.
appear before us, you just give the senators one bound annexures. I can see they are really struggling to trace file H.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chair, on a point of order,
Senator
really
Uta.
finding it very difficult to follow
Senator
the council. Yeah,
You
we are
search
finding
quickly.
it very difficult to follow the council
Yeah?
when he gives references
Yes.
or the appendixes. I don't know whether we need to give them a few minutes, to be able to rearrange their documentation and evidence.
I think you have gotten the files. It's
we are
marked
not
H.
really
We
following.
have got,
I mean, it
we have
takes
got
us time. It takes time to be able to follow the
Yeah,
council's
we have gotten, but I think during lunchtime we'll try and rearrange the files. But proceed.
Okay, in that file, the annexures are very clear.
Yes.
8A is a notice in the standard newspaper. 8B
What does that notice relate to?
It was the advertisement for the vacant positions of the audit committee.
For creation of that office?
Yes.
Yes. Move on.
The next one is on the
Where was that
application
advertisement
register.
done?
That was done on 19th June.
Yes.
The next one,
19th June. Which year?
2020.
Yes. Move on.
So we had the next one where applicants have submitted the applications,
Following
and that
the
is an extract.
advertisement,
Yeah.
yes. How many
that's an extract of the application.
How many applicants responded?
10 of them.
Yes. Move on.
The next one is the report on the shortlisting of candidates. for the position of members of the audit committee done by members of the county assembly. You could see 5 out of 7 were present.
Yes.
So they had the quorum. Yeah. And if you look at the minutes, towards the end, you could see they have made their report. This was the report. Once they have compiled the report, in the subsequent annexure, you will see the board has declared itself.
Yes, through how did the board declare itself?
They said there are only 2 candidates who have met the preliminary requirements for the shortlist.
Yes.
And as such, the advert was deemed non-responsive.
Which document are you referring to?
The last one, which is the last annexure. It is the extract of minutes of the County Public Service Board.
When is it dated?
It is dated on 23rd September 2020.
Yes. What was the finding of that board?
Now that the advert was non-responsive, they have agreed to re-advertise. But unfortunately, thereafter, interruptions arising from COVID-19 and other work extringencies related to the UHC, the rolling out of the UHC, universal health coverage, and employment of their staff have taken a center stage, and the board will now re-advertise in the soonest time possible.
Of most fundamental is that the county government of WAJIR has taken the necessary initiative to comply with the law, yes?
I can confirm that, yes.
Would you blame the governor for the failure to have that establishment?
No, no.
Yeah?
That cannot be blamed on the governor, and the board has done some steps to put in charge, and they're doing their work.
Had it not been for the unforeseeable intervening factors, would that board be in place?
Yes.
So Honorable Senator, as we move to the very, very last allegation, the next allegation appearing at paragraph 22.1, what is the governor being accused of?
Failure to deliver the annual state of the county address.
Yes.
And I think so. It's an issue of...
a moment, witness.
Yes, it's an issue of just seeing...
Witness, a moment. For purposes of flow, we have it contained in a file marked as G.
Senators, you can go to G. G. The box file marked G.
Is it?
Yes, Council. It can be testifying as we trace the box file.
Yes.
Proceed, Bon Account Secretary.
Okay.
Council.
Yes.
Proceed.
Has the governor is being accused of having violated section 30, subsection 2, paragraph K, by failing to give an annual address.
Yes.
Yes?
We have noted that, and if you look at section 32K of the County Government Act, it states that the governor shall submit to the county assembly an annual report, or the governor shall deliver containing such matters as may be specified in the county legislation.
Yes.
Now that we do not have the county legislation,
is there a county legislation stipulating how, when, and where this address shall be given?
I was going there.
Yeah,
now that we know how we don't have
there?
the county legislative,
yes,
a legislature from the county
yes,
to state on where, how, and when to do it, we believe the governor has delivered these addresses at various locations. And if you look at my response, 23.1,
yes,
first one, I feel it is not true. Only that there were no clear-cut guidelines on how the governor should do. The governor held up.
Yes.
And also the ward-based development project, Kenyan shillings 25 million per year, which has become an issue for our county. If you look at 23.13 on the next page, on 19th September 2020 again, the governor met with the county assembly members at the ICT hall, where they were discussing on issues to do with service delivery. and the governor has pleaded for shift of mindset on delivery of service, and also he requested the assembly to approve the draft budget that was on their desk.
Yes.
Further, that was the time there was a stalemate on the CARA, the revenue allocation formula.
Yes.
And the governor could brief the assembly that that has been resolved, and the county got an upward increase of about Kenyan shillings 929 million. So I believe the governor has made enough addresses. These are just but a sample we have picked from all that is available. The only thing is that the way the act is in the County Government Act, there are no statutory defined venue.
It's okay.
And there is no statutory stipulated format. And now that there were no county legislative to guide on that, we believe there were enough avenues where the governor has made his addresses.
Thank you, Witness. Are you aware that the governor of Kirinyaga County also faced similar charges?
Yes.
Are you aware of the verdict that was reached by this Honorable House?
I am not
there. Was there an indictment on the part of the governor?
No.
Should it be any different currently?
I don't expect, because this is not a constitutional obligation, but a statutory duty stipulated under Section 32K.
Thank you, Witness.
So, yeah.
I offer you and yield you to my senior learned friend, Mr. Ahmed Nasir, Senior Counsel, for cross-examination.
Yes, Senior Counsel, Ahmed Nasir. How long do you think it will take?
I think I will not be long. Maybe about 7 minutes.
Oh, good. Then we can finish with the witness before we break for lunch.
Mr. Abdullahi Hassan Maalim.
Counsel Ndego, you can switch off your mic. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Abdullahi, I will ask you a few questions.
Okay, sir.
And the first one touches on Jeff Mweria Girinji. I want you to look first at the letter of his appointment, 24A.
Okay, sir, I'm there.
Yes, just read for the committee the first paragraph, the one that starts with pursuant
to the fulfillment of the powers conferred to me by the Constitution of Kenya, Article 235, I hereby appoint you to the position of Economic Advisor to the with effect from 2017.
Now, do you have a copy of the Constitution with you?
I can get.
Yes.
I had one. If I not left it, yeah, I have it. It is here.
Just read for the committee Article 235(1).
A county government is responsible within a framework of uniform norms and standards prescribed by an act of parliament to establishing...
Just stop there.
Okay.
So the powers is given to a county government.
Yes.
And that powers can be exercised within a framework of uniform norms and standards prescribed by an act of parliament.
Yes.
And it gives the county government powers to establish and abolish office in public service.
Yes.
Or B, appointing persons to hold or act in those offices and confirming appointments.
Yes.
In the letter you read of 1st November, does the governor cite any provision of a statute?
Okay, thank you so much. I think so.
Answer my question.
Okay, it does not. The governor cites Article.
Listen to me again.
Yes.
In that letter,
yes,
does the governor cite a specific provision of a statute? Yes or no? It's not a difficult question.
He is citing Article 235.
Yes, that one I know.
And on the first part is an abolition of office.
And
that office of the economic advisor was there. There was a precedent set by the first governor.
Please listen to me again. I will repeat my question.
Okay.
In that letter, does the governor cite a specific provision of a statute?
Unless maybe you will demystify what a statute is. I'm talking of the Article 235. I wish it would have been written maybe sub-article 1.
Okay, let me frame it like this.
Okay.
Does the minister in that letter cite a specific provision in an act of parliament, this parliament?
There is Article 235, subsection 1.
That one, that's the constitution, eh?
Yes.
In addition to that,
yes,
does he cite a provision in a statute or?
No, no, no.
Thank you. I just wanted that. Now let me take you to 20, I'm sorry, yes, 24-9.
24?
24-9, that's another letter to Jeff.
Is it 9 or G?
I think it's 9.
It cannot be 9.
24? G, eh? Okay,
yes.
sorry. 24G.
It is sub, so it should be an alphabet.
Okay, 24G. Are you there with me? Yes, just read for me the one that starts with pursuant.
Pursuant to the fulfillment of the powers conferred to me by the Constitution of Kenya, Article 235. It's an extension. I hereby extend your appointment to the position of economic advisor for a further 1 year.
Again, does he cite any provision of a statute?
No.
Thank you very much. Now let me take you to your witness statement, and I will be very brief.
Okay.
The first one is this matter of Chief Officer Finance.
Yes.
Will you agree with me that that is a critical office in a county government?
I agree with you totally.
Because he handles money, the budget, all those issues.
He handles the budget, he handles the money for his specific department.
Yes.
It's very critical, just like the other chief officers, but this one is very sensitive.
Very sensitive.
I agree with you.
Thank you very much. Now, confirm to me the following facts I will tell you.
Okay.
That the first chief officer under the government of, during the tenure of Governor Mahmoud was a man called Barre Idris.
Very true. The first one who we started with.
And he was removed from office on 30th July 2018.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Then confirm to me that he was replaced by Ahmed Garat, who took over from him on 1st July 2018.
Very true. That's the first reassignment.
Yes.
Yes.
Then Ahmed Garat was reassigned again on October 2018.
No, I don't agree on that part.
Okay, let's go.
It is Barre to Garat, and Garat gave to another one.
Yes, yes, yes. I'm saying. Okay. I'm coming
but
to that.
But you said the same Garat, so I wanted to correct that semantics.
Okay, Garat, Mohammed Salat took over from Garat.
I agree with you totally.
On October 2016.
Yes.
Then.
That is the second reassignment.
Wait.
I'm counting for you, there are not 6.
Then, Mohammed Salat was, Barre Idris came back to the job.
That is right. Reassignment.
Yes. So you will agree with me that there have been quite movements in terms of this chief officer of finance.
I totally agree with you. I only wanted to negate on a few heightened kind of statements.
No, we are together. You are saying it was 4, not 6.
Not 6.
Yes.
Good.
That I understand. Now I'll take you to the second issue.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this one is I'm just reconfirming what you say in paragraph 19.
Yes.
You say that you have tried, but you have not established an audit committee.
Yes.
So up to now there is no audit committee.
Yes.
Okay.
And reasons are well displayed.
So I don't want your reasons go on. Let's go to my second issue. Also, look at paragraph 20.
Yes.
Paragraph 20. Again, it's your own evidence. You are saying that the county of WAJIR does not have a county budget and economic forum as provided for by in section 137 of the Public Finance Act.
Yes, but then the same act says...
No, I'm just confirm to me.
As soon as it's practical, so we are within that
yes.
description.
Okay.
Yes.
Now my last question to you is paragraph 22.
Okay.
Again, you are saying, you are confirming that since inception, first you understand what is, do you understand what we mean by an annual state address? You know that there is a national one where the president of this country, I'm coming to that, wait. Do you not understand that there is a national, at the national level, His Excellency the President addresses the nation once every year?
Yes.
And he comes to Parliament to address the country on what is achieved and what he hopes the country will achieve. You are aware of that?
I'm aware of that.
Yes. Now, section 30 subsection 2K provides for an annual state of the county address. You are aware?
Yes.
And the governor has not addressed the people of WAJIR in an annual state of a county address to date?
I think so. That is arguable.
No, just please.
He has addressed. In my knowledge, he has addressed.
Can you give us a copies of that annual?
I have annexed.
First, listen to me, please.
Okay, I will.
You have a copy of an annual state of the county address, for example, for 2018.
2018?
Yes.
2018, I can give you 2 times the governor has appeared in front of the assembly.
Annual is only once. It's not many times.
I think so. What should have guided us if there were specific legislations to at least say it should be done like this, on this time, in this place. Now that there is no that specificity, I believe anywhere done by the governor, it becomes an address.
Read article. Read section 30, subsection 2K. Read it.
I will read, and I've read severally.
Yes.
The governor shall deliver annual state of the county address containing such matters as may be specified in county legislation. Now that there were no matters specified in the county legislation, we are within our leeway, within our mandate, to at least make sure we offer the governor addresses on issues that are of substance at that time. That's why the budget was of substance at one time. That's why the ward-based development project was of substance another time. So I believe we did it like that.
Listen to me, please.
I will. I'm listening.
Now, subsection K says, deliver annual state of the county address, and I emphasize the following for your own benefit.
Okay.
Containing such matters. It is the content. Agriculture, water, healthcare, education, containing such matters as may be specified in a county legislation.
Okay.
So it is the content that the legislation should define.
Yes.
Not the venue.
Senior Counsel, we want to buy from the very rich wisdom, but I'm not seeing anywhere where venue is specified in this particular act. But if you can really, because of your many years of interactions with the acts and the laws, you can provide, we will really learn from you.
Yes,
but for now, we are not aware of that.
Thank you. Actually, if you look at paragraph 23(1), that's basically you say this allegation is planted false, as His Excellency Governor has addressed members of the County Assembly in various locations.
Yes.
Not necessarily in the County Assembly.
Sure.
So he has addressed many barazas. I agree with you.
Not barazas, specific meetings with the Assembly.
Yes. But he has not given what's called an annual county address.
It is relative how we define it, but the jury is out to at least look at it and give more dimension to it. Thank you
very much. I have no further questions.
Any re-examination?
This issue of the deployment of Jeff Moria, this issue of deployment, senior want to call it employment, was it made with the knowledge of the governor?
I believe the governor has only appointed him as an economic advisor. The deployment was
Upon
done.
the realization, did the governor cooperate with the investigating agencies?
Yes.
Did he cooperate with the court?
Yes.
There's an issue you wanted to say that you negate. Do you recall?
Maybe remind me.
It was about the 4 and 6 issues of the movements of these officers.
Yes.
What did you want to
Just wanted to put to perspective, as has been highlighted by our senior counsel, the reshuffles were only 4 times.
Yes.
There were not 6. And I believe Section 45(5) of the County Government Act give the governor the mandate to do so. And there's not state the specific number of times the governor can reassign his chief officers.
You were referred to Section 137 of the Public Finance Management Act, you recall? And you said as soon as it's
practically possible.
Yes?
Yes.
What did you mean that it is not practically possible as at that time?
To my understanding, which might be very different from any other, I feel where we have put the establishment of the county budget and economic forum to motion. We started, the governor came into office 2017. By May 2021, we were through with a call for nominees, but again, issues to do with the COVID-19 pandemic has given us.
Is that the practicability of the unforeseeable situation the Act is contemplating?
Yes, yes.
Good. Thank you, witness.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Just hold on. Any senator wants to seek any clarification? Senator Petronila Were.
Thank you, Chair. County Secretary, just a clarification. You have been acting.
Senior Counsel Ahmed Nasir, maybe you can switch off your mic.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, just a clarification. You have been acting as County Secretary for 3 years. Okay, and the governor has been in power for 3.5 of those years. Why is it so difficult for you to
I agree with you. It is very inordinately long, but there was a case in court, which was just determined the other day. Okay. And immediately that was determined, the governor has confirmed my appointment, and it has been taken to the assembly. So my confirmation to the position is before the County Assembly of WAJIR. So it was a court that has really made it inordinately long for it to be done.
Okay. Secondly, you say that the county government has not set up the county budget and economic forum because of COVID. So is it that this has not been set up 2020 when COVID hit, or that you have not had this from 2017? Just
I agree with you.
For us that
we did not have from 2017.
So it's not COVID that has prevented you
maybe
from
the
setting
first
this
bit,
up.
but then when we wanted to start the process, as we speak, we have the concerned Department of Finance have prepared the TOR. We have made the call for the nominations from the different non-state actors. But when we're in the process is when we saw, because of COVID, we might not proceed, and we give a lot of priority to the other. I agree with you, before the COVID, we have not done it.
Thank you.
Senator Uta.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I just wanted to ask, seek clarification from the County Secretary whether WAJIR County Government do hold what we call cabinet meetings. And in those meetings, have they ever discussed the appointment of officers as the agenda?
We have not discussed.
Chairs?
Thank you, our Honorable Senator. We hold very regularly cabinet meetings, and minutes are available. Some of them are even sampled into the annexures, maybe with the support of the peers. Number two, on issues to do with which appointment. If it is appointment of the County Executive Committee, I think so it's done before the County Executive Committee is constituted. But if it comes to issues of the Audit Committee, I believe the Audit Committee is to be done by the County Public Service Board in a very competitive process. We don't have a role in it.
Thank you. Senator Aligura.
Thank you, Chair. There's this issue of the county state of county address. The section of the law, the County Government Act, which is quoted, talks of the content of the speech or the matters to be addressed be specified in a county legislation. Are you aware of any county legislation, basically, which must have been done by the County Assembly, which specifies that?
No, I'm not aware of any.
Senator Linturi.
Yeah, Chairman, yes, I was trying to peruse this file, and I was just seeing the letter that was written to you by the Ethics and the Corruption Commission in regard to the judgment of the three that were convicted. So what I have not seen, Chair, is the second bench to determine the authenticity, because it's not signed at the end of at the last page, and secondly, any copy of this judgment. That is one we will have to respond to. And finally, there is that area on failure to give the state of the county, annual county address, and I want you specifically try to bring out the aspect of there being no legislation to determine or to address how that should be done. Who has the responsibility? Who has the greatest responsibility to originate legislation to provide for such?
But I think so. On issues of regulations, it's a two-way. The executive can initiate, the assembly can also initiate. It is an oversight on our part. We have not initiated. These are part of the learning areas we can learn from here. On the issue of that other page, which is not there, I'm sure it's available. Within the day, we can provide. Thank you.
Okay. Any other senator? Oh, yes, Senator Gidiomi.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, we have been told that Jeff was recruited and the appointment letter was signed by the governor himself. Jeff was later interdicted on half salary, and he was accused of abuse of office. And by the time he was being accused, there was a loss of over 100 million, a substantial loss. Can we know from the witness whether this case, his case was concluded? And if it was concluded, what was the decision of the court?
The case has been concluded and determined. The accused, the three of them were charged, were convicted with either four years in prison or a fine of 800,000. So once the conviction happens as per the Economic Crimes Act, the people have to be laid off, suspended until there is a determination from an appeal court.
Who and who was convicted? And
Jeff Moria, together with the former county secretary, whose position I've been acting, and the county executive committee member finance.
Thank you. Any other question? Seems there is none. Good. I think that is it for you.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the opportunity.
Asante sana. Okay. It's now 1:30. We need to break for lunch. Can we say instead of 1 hour we do 45 minutes? We come back by 2:15. Can try 2:15. Okay, so we'll resume at 2:15. Thank you.
Be dealt with together with the objection that we want to take to that affidavit.
Yeah, because of time, I want him to make the two requests. And then when you raise your issue, you will raise it and also respond to his request.
Can I reserve my response to the request of the augmentation of Mr. Barre's deposition to when I make my objection?
That will be the way you may elect. I think the decent way would be we allow him to make the request, and then you object to that request in response, so that we are able to make a ruling on it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Senior Counsel, how many minutes?
I will take less than 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you. Proceed.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, we wrote to this committee on Tuesday, 11th May 2021, as part of the housekeeping rules, and we informed them two things, basically, that our witnesses will be 3. We gave them their names so that there is full disclosure on the same. But we also intimated to the clerk and this committee to this committee that we want this committee to summon 4 witnesses that are critical to the fair trial and disposal of this matter. Without them, this trial will not be a proper trial. You have the powers, you have the rules. The first witness, Mr. Chairman, as you can see, is the governor's, or the first lady, governor's wife. The second one is the governor's son. The third one is the governor's daughter.
Maybe as you give the names,
yes,
you can also tell us maybe the area where you need them to come and clarify, if you are able to.
Yes, yes, Mr. Chairman, the county assembly's case revolves around the family of the governor. It's our evidence, and we will adduce enough evidence to show that the governor, his wife, and his children have played such a pivotal role in the degradation of governance in the county government, in the misappropriation of public funds, in breaking down of structures of governance, and that they have ruled this in an ad hoc manner. They have ruled the county of WAJIR in an ad hoc manner, outside the constitutional architecture of governance. In that process, their presence is indispensable. Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, a trial that does not call the First Lady cannot ventilate properly the issues we are raising in this. She is the epicenter. She is the eye of the storm. She is the foundation of the issues that was raised both in the petition and in the witness statements here. So, the daughters and the sons that are of very pivotal importance in this matter. You have the powers, Mr. Chairman. It will not take a lot of time to summon them. Summon them, and
so
let us have.
It's good. You have said daughter and son, so we should tell us B is daughter, C is son, so that we.
Yes, A is the first lady.
Yes.
B is the son. C is the daughter. D is a man whose fingerprints appear in every transaction that the county government of WAJIR has done. He owns so many companies. He has won so many contractors. He has been awarded so much money that Mr. Osman Abdi Jemale must, in my humble submission, be summoned here. He's a treasure trove of evidence. There is not one company, Mr. Chairman, who was not awarded contract that his name doesn't appear.
Are those companies part of the?
Yes, they are part of our evidence. We are putting the CR12 as part of our annexures.
Okay.
So we have laid the basis.
We have a bundle of documents. If you can just point that the connection is in bundle C, just for.
Yes, they are attached to the.
Just make reference to the bundle.
Yes, yes.
Where we get those CR12.
Yes, they are attached to the to the witness statement of Mr. Shoaib. Mr. Shoaib is our second witness. Yes. Witness number 2. He's the representative of Diff Ward, and his affidavit has all the annexures. This one. Oh, okay. Yes, and I think according to your record,
You'll bear with us. You know you brought boxes of documents, so
yes,
we are trying to trace.
CS7, CS7.
CS7, eh?
Yes.
I have the document, so you can refer to the pages where there are CR. I can see from, if we move together.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman.
From page 34.
Mr. Chairman, can my learned friend Hanan show you the pages?
Okay. Yes. Council, you can just point us the page.
Chair, my apologies, I'm reaching the page.
Speak to the mic, Council.
Honorable Chair, it appears at page 38. In
Page
support of the witness,
38.
page 38, correct.
Okay, that's
And
Luyu
appears-
General Contractors?
That is Lely General Contractors Company Limited.
Okay.
And then it also appeared at page 39.
Page
That is
30.
Dayo.
That is Dahayo Construction and General Supplies.
Correct. And it also appears at page 40.
And then at page 40, that is Laceland General Merchants.
Correct, Chair.
Any other?
Chair, we've also made reference to it on the affidavit and witness statement of Honorable Abdullah Ishaq, the mover of the motion.
Okay. Sorry, I know the documents are many, but is there, can you pinpoint maybe where they were awarded contracts? Is it also here?
Chairman, if you will allow me with your very kind permission to interject. This is one of the depositions that we wish to take up a preliminary issue on. And it is prejudicial to the governor at this juncture for substantive material, such as an allegation of award of contracts or any microscopic examination of a CR12 to go on record.
We are not taking any details. We just want to see the basis upon which this request is being made. We are not making any determination at this stage at all. Yeah. So, Council, is there any page you want us to look at?
That's it, Chair.
Is there any?
No,
None.
ma'am.
Okay, so Council, Senior Council, you are done?
Yes, for that point of summoning the witnesses, we are done. I'm guided by you whether I should add or reply or join with my learned friend when he's taking the more substantive objections here.
Can you conclude on the request for further affidavit and annex?
Yes, Your Honor, on the further affidavit, my humble submission is that we are not raising any new evidence. What we are doing is that we inadvertently misplaced some annexatures to that affidavit. We are not bringing new evidence, so it's just an issue of annexing this new document. I have looked at your rules.
So that the record is clear, which affidavit are you talking about? Is it the same C7?
Yes, yes, that one of Shoaib. We forgot some documents on that. Shoaib Barre Ahmed.
You are referring to the affidavit of Barre Ahmed, CS7.
Yes. Yes, so if you look at that statement, Mr. Chairman, you will see from page 1, to page 21, page 1 to 21.
1 to?
Yes.
Page 1?
1 to 21.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm with you. Yes.
Yes, there are certain bank statements, transactions that are there. So within those bank statements, there are certain documents or certain pages we forgot. We forgot. And if you look at paragraph 26 of the witness statement itself, paragraph 21, are you there, Mr. Chairman? Paragraph 26 of the witness statement, we say annexed here to unmarked SBA 1 are the following documents, and they run from A to L. Unfortunately, we forgot a very critical annexure, that is A. Yes, a copy of Mrs. Khaira Umar's statement account for the year. This one is very crucial. It shows you a lot of evidence on how kickbacks were paid, how money was received, the nexus between that company, we were talking about the companies by that witness, the transactions. Then, Your Honor, what we will do for ease of reference is that we did a chart like this, which gives you, the movement of the money from what account to which account, from what company to which company, and how it all ended up in the banks of Mrs. Khaira Umar Malim.
So the application, if I hear you right, is that you inadvertently forgot to include Annexure A.
Annexure A, yes.
Okay, that's
yes.
it. Okay,
yes.
That's clear.
Yes.
That's all?
Yes, that's all. And we have it here. My learned friends will have ample time the whole of today, because their case is tomorrow. They will have ample time to reply to that, to interrogate it in depth. So there will be no prejudice, absolutely none, that they will suffer.
Very well. Members, I think you can follow CA7, paragraph 26. The request by Council for the County Assembly is that they inadvertently forgot to attach Annexure A. So when we retreat, you can bear that in mind. Okay, then Council for Governor, I will allow you to make your response and also raise any preliminary issues that you have. And Senior Councilman Nasir, one member wants a clarification. Senator Linturi, proceed.
Yeah, Chair, with tremendous respect to Senior Counsel, I think I would wish that you would further clarify whether the document intends to introduce is a statement of account or is a bank statement.
Thank you very much, Senator. Yes, it's a statement of the bank, yes, relating to certain account of the witness, which we forgot to add.
Senator, that's clear?
Yeah, it is clear, Chair.
Thank you. So, Councillor Nyamodi, you can respond to the issues raised by Senior Councilman Nasir.
Thank you very much.
And then you can also raise your PO so that Ahmed Nasir will respond, so that when we consider them, we do one direction on all of them.
Thank you very much.
Yep. How many minutes?
Chair, 10 minutes.
Okay, very well. Proceed.
Chair, just to start by responding to the request for a further affidavit, it would have been easier to respond to learned Senior Counsel if we had had an opportunity to see what he has taken such great pains to describe in such graphic detail. Chair, members of the committee, I urge you to note that even as the request is being made, we have not had sight of this monumentally important document that was omitted when this affidavit was being put together. So in respect of what it is or what it is not, or whether it completes what is already in the deposition, having had no sight of it, we are unable to make any comment on it. But Chairman, what is more important is that according to the program that you read out at the beginning of this morning's proceedings, it is the County Assembly's turn to present its witnesses once we conclude with the preliminaries and you make your determinations and give directions about objections. Chairman, what Learned Senior is saying is that they want to introduce new evidence now, and they then want the witness to testify now, because today is their day, they have no other day in which to lead evidence, and they then wish the governor to respond to that evidence at whatever time the governor chooses to respond. Chairman, needless to say, that is a prejudicial position to the governor. There is no clearer example of an ambush. Evidence cannot be produced during the hearing, because the hearing commences today, because the governor has no opportunity not just to consider, but to respond as he is entitled to. Chairman, the affidavit in respect of which that evidence is sought to be adduced to augment, or the evidence contained in that affidavit is important. And Chairman, I wish to refer you and members of the committee to pages 34 to 40 of the annexures to that affidavit. And I just wish you to note, Chairman and members, the dates of those CR12s. CR12s are records from the company registry in respect of directorships and shareholders of companies. Chairman, you will note that the CR12s are dated on various dates between the 9th and the 10th of May this year. Chairman, this evidence could therefore not have been before the Assembly when the Assembly sat to consider the motion of impeachment at the end of last month. So, Chairman, other than the fact that it is an ambush, it is an attempt, unlawful and unconstitutional, to expand the scope of the motion. And Chairman, for those reasons, I urge that this committee denies the request by Learned Senior to augment the evidence and, by extension, expand the scope of the motion for impeachment. I now, Mr. Chairman, wish to respond to the first issue, and that is the letter dated the 11th of this month, requesting for certain witnesses to be summoned. And Chairman, I wish to oppose that request, and I wish to commence my opposition to that request by pointing out to Mr. Chairman and the members of the committee the important words in Rule 9, that the committee may. And I wish to emphasize, Mr. Chairman, and I wish to make the submission that if the committee may, then the committee also may not. It is not mandatory, it is discretionary. And I wish to submit the following reasons why the committee should not summon the witnesses. First, Mr. Chairman, the relationship between the first three witnesses, A, B, C, and the governor. It is the governor's wife, son, and daughter. As a matter of law, Mr. Chairman, whereas those witnesses may be competent to testify against the governor, with tremendous respect, they are not compellable. And what the summons seeks to do is to get this committee to compel them to testify against the governor. Their husband and father in both instances. Mr. Chairman, I will leave it to Mr. Ndegwa in a moment to highlight the relevant provisions of the Evidence Act.
Chairman, wish to proceed from where my senior has left. We oppose vehemently the application to summon those said witnesses, As indicated, there is no basis that has been laid by the applicant as to why those witnesses might be called upon to appear before you. Mr. Chairman, I want to invite you to look at the Oath and Statutory Act. And while you look at that act, Mr. Chairman, and the committee, we invite you to look at the rules of the court under Section 6. And you, Mr. Chairman, then you'll go to Rule number 9, which deals with the question of exhibits. It provides that all exhibits to affidavit shall be securely sealed together under the seal of the Commissioner and shall be marked with serial letters of identification. Mr. Chairman, what has been presented before you is just a mere allegation that they fall in between the affidavits. You have been told that those documents fall between Annexure A and something. Are they capable of being effectively distinguished as prescribed by Rule 9? Even as they appear before you this morning, do they comply with that rule? Mr. Chairman, an affidavit is a statutory oath. It's oath. It is guided by this act, Mr. Chairman. And any procedure that offends this act offends the entire process. Mr. Chairman, may I submit on the question of the compellability of this witness? And as I do so, Mr. Chairman, I refer you to the case of Governor Wambora, Civil Appeal number 21 of 2014. In that case, Mr. Chairman, the Court of Appeal at Nyeri was able to distinguish these processes. And it is said when it was settling down on the question of the standard of proof, the court said that it is not on the balance of probability, it is not above reasonable doubt, it is there in the middle. Why was it there in the middle? It's because of the quasi-criminal nature that these proceedings invite. And when you look at the quasi-criminal proceedings, Mr. Chairman, you might then want to look at Section 127, subsection 3 of the Evidence Act, on the question of compelling a witness, and more so a spouse. That provision, Mr. Chairman, says that that witness can only be admitted as a witness at the election of the person charged, not at the election of the person who is charging, in this case, the County Assembly. Mr. Chairman, we submit that that provision bars and all prohibits a spouse from testifying against the spouse. Mr. Chairman, you might want to ask the foundation of that provision, and you'll find it in the Constitution. It provides of the society. Mr. Chairman, as I sum up, you have been told that these documents will come relevant during the proceedings. That is mere speculative. The applicant is on a fishing expedition. Why is he on a fishing expedition, Mr. Chairman? There is no witness who has testified before you to lay basis whether these individuals participated in that procedure. How and why should the applicant, the County Assembly, be aided by this committee to summon witnesses? Have they demonstrated that they have done it and the witnesses have probably abandoned or rejected to honor the summons? Mr. Chairman, there must be equality of arms. And this equality of arms, Mr. Chairman, is the provision of Article 27, equal protection before the law. The governor is equally protected before the law as much as the applicant is protected, Mr. Chairman. And then you might also want to invite yourself when you're looking at this application under Article 50. The question of fair hearing.
You should wind up.
I'm just winding up.
I'm told your time is up.
I'm just winding up. Article 50 is an underogable right under Article 25. And when you say that, Mr. Chairman, the applicant ought to be granted time and opportunity to summon witnesses, the question will be, where shall the fair hearing aspect be left, noting that the witnesses will come and testify towards that document and will not have an opportunity of cross-examining them on the content of that document. I oblige.
Thank you. Senior Counsel, before you respond, Nyamodi, as the lead counsel, I had also given you leeway. If you have any preliminary issues, you raise them now so that when Senior Counsel responds, he responds to all the issues, because we are trying to manage time. So do you have any other preliminary issues?
We have other preliminary issues.
Yes.
And may I claim 25 minutes of time in respect of our preliminary issues?
Now, you know, we can't give you 20 because our timetable accorded you only 15. So you can take 15.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Yeah, you 15, and you must conclude all the issues within those 15 minutes. And time begins running from now.
Okay. So, Chairman, we will be quick about it. I will commence my preliminary issue by winding up one quick issue or tying up one loose end that was left hanging in respect of the letter that we have just submitted on. In respect of witness number D in that letter, if I heard Learned Senior correct, he said that the intention is to establish that he is the owner of various companies. I believe that is done by the CR12. There is no need to call an owner or a director or shareholder of a company to prove that he owns the company. I submit that that request to call an owner and a shareholder in the face of such clear CR12s is an attempt, the only thing it would achieve would be to embarrass that witness. And that is the reason why this committee should not summon him. In respect of the preliminary issues, Chair, that we have in respect of this matter, I had indicated that we have 3, we have addressed 1, and now 4 remain. The first issue is, Chair, we wish to object to the inclusion on the record of this committee's proceedings today of the affidavit of Shoaib Bare Ahmed. It is the affidavit that we have discussed or has been discussed at length in the submissions that commenced with Learned Senior's request for improvement or augmentation of that deposition. Chairman, I wish to state first that the testimony or the evidence contained from paragraph 1 to paragraph last of that affidavit was not before the Assembly. The evidence that was before the Assembly was supplied by the Senate to the Governor on the 30th of last month, and the Governor has responded to that, or to the allegations and to the evidence that was shared with him by the Senate exhaustively. Mr. Chairman, I will repeat for the purposes of emphasis the submission I made a few minutes ago, that this affidavit was received maybe about 8 p.m. last night, and this witness is meant to testify today. There may be responses to the allegations that are made in that affidavit, but there is no opportunity to respond in the time frame in which this committee is proceeding. I submit, Mr. Chairman and members of this committee, that a party seeking to impeach a governor is therefore under the obligation to ensure that before the Assembly they present all the evidence that they wish to adduce in support of their motion for impeachment. And that, Mr. Chairman, then enables the governor to have his full Article 50 rights of responding to those allegations. Mr. Chairman, it shouldn't be lost to this committee's mind that what is at stake here is the governor's governorship. And the committee should then give him all the opportunity to defend himself. And allowing evidence such as this, substantive evidence such as this, to be brought before the committee at the 11th hour and served on the governor at the 11th and a half hour without an opportunity to respond is prejudicial to the governor. Again, Mr. Chairman, I submit for emphasis that this is another attempt by the County Assembly to improve or to expand the scope of the grounds for impeachment. Yes, the allegation may have been made in the motion for impeachment that was before the Assembly, but the evidence was not presented before the Assembly, and it only arose last night. So, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, our request, our preliminary issue is that the affidavit of Shoaib Bare Ahmed be expunged.
Okay, the next issue.
Be expunged from the record. Secondly,
very well. Next.
There is evidence that falls into the same category, and that evidence is contained in the County Assembly's bundles, marked on the top left-hand corner as CA4 and CA8. On the front of CA4 is indicated Education Department 2015-2017, and in respect of CA8, ICT, Fisheries, Trade Department, Public Works, Environment, Agriculture. Again, Mr. Chairman, this is evidence that was shared with us or with the governor's legal representatives only late last night. This evidence does not arise from the length and breadth of the motion for impeachment. As I have previously said, there may be very well answers. The governor may very well have answers to the documents that are produced in these two bundles. But having not been given an adequate opportunity to respond, noting that the witnesses are due to take the stand once these preliminaries are concluded, to allow these documents to remain on record is prejudicial to the governor, and it limits his Article 50 rights. I leave the rest of the time for my learned friend, Mr. Ndegwa Njiru, to urge the remaining preliminary issues that we wish to take up.
Thank you, Council. Council Ndegwa.
Mr. Chair, I just have to pick up from where my senior has left and refer you to affidavit by one Hussein Abdurrahman Dahir.
Are you on the same issue?
Yes, just proceeding.
Okay.
And it appears as CA1, to which we are making an application, Mr. Chairman, that running all the way from paragraph 28, and there are two affidavits, that is one CA1 and CA2, to the last paragraph of the affidavit be expunged from record.
Who is the author of CA1?
Mr. Chairman, the author is, the deponent is Hussein Abdurrahman Dahir.
CA1, eh?
CA1, CA2.
Proceed.
Mr. Chairman, the basis of this application is premised on the House Standing Order guiding these provisions, Rule number 19. It provides that in presenting its evidence, the County Assembly shall not introduce any new evidence that was not part of the allegations against the governor by the county as funded by the Speaker of the County Assembly, the Speaker of the Senate. Mr. Chairman, what this presupposes, Mr. Chairman, is that within the 2 days contemplated under Section 33 of the County Government Act, the period prescribed for the Speaker of the County Assembly to forward the resolution, it is a presumption under this rule of the Senate that the same must be accompanied by the evidence that the County Assembly is seeking to rely on. Mr. Chairman, if you just read that provision, it says, new evidence that was not part of the allegations against the governor by the County Assembly as forwarded. The operative word here, Mr. Chairman, is as forwarded, not as filed as at yesterday. Because if you look at Section 33, subsection 2, it's the one that refers to the question of forwarding the evidence. So, Mr. Chairman, anything that was not received as at the time the County Assembly was forwarding this document can only be regarded as new evidence, and hence the question of admissibility comes into play. Mr. Chairman, all those paragraphs that we have cited and as annexed in that affidavit were not before the County Assembly at the time of the moving of the motion. Where is the evidence, Mr. Chairman? The County Assembly Hansons. And Mr. Chairman, one cannot have his cake and eat it. Equally well, one cannot be in a fishing expedition and expect the assistance of this committee. I refer you to the case of Honorable Philomena Mwilu versus the DPP, petition number 295 of 2018. In that case, Mr. Chairman,
all those cases, are they in your bundle somewhere?
Mr. Chairman, you know these are preliminary issues that I've just raised.
Mr. Chairman, these are the issues we have. My learned friend is citing cases he has not given us a citation of. We don't know the authenticity of the spin he's putting on.
Diego, you know you are a very experienced, you are a very experienced advocate, and you know,
Mr. Chairman,
courtesy dictates. You are making reference to an authority.
I'm well guided.
And I presume you knew you will make reference to it.
I'm well guided.
You should have shared with the same with your learned friends.
I'm well guided.
Counsel, yeah?
I'll not refer to the case.
Yes.
But Mr. Chairman, it's cardinal rule of any criminal procedure, even of this one which is quasi-criminal in nature, that prosecution is not to be made good. It must appear to be good at the time of its inception. And appearing good, Mr. Chairman, is making sure, again, there is equality of arms, that the procedure complies with the doctrine of the fair trial, so that this doctrine of fair trial may not compromise the governor's presumption of innocence. What then that means, Mr. Chairman, is that these paragraphs, as indicated, will only lead to embarrassing the governor, and the governor will not have the opportunity of substantively responding to them. I move on to the other point, Mr. Chairman, which is the question of the competence of the motion before you as originating from the county assembly. Mr. Chairman.
So that's another issue now.
That's another issue. Okay. While this committee is competently capable of dealing with the issues, the question of the competence of that motion comes into play. And the competence is the legal competence. And why are we impugning the competence of this motion, Mr. Chairman? It's because at the time of the debate at the county assembly, there existed a valid court order arising from petition E009 of 2018, which was filed before the Meru High Court. What did the Meru High Court do? The Meru High Court injuncted the processes of the debate. Why was it injuncting, Mr. Chairman? It was injuncting because we were impugning on the legal ability of some officers to participate in that process. And in the wisdom of the judge found it fit to inject the process. So the fundamental question is whether then an issue that arises from a process that has been injected by the court can then form a competent basis of an impeachment. Mr. Chairman, we argue this knowing very well that there exists a doctrine of checks and balances. The doctrine of checks and balances does not necessarily mean that these organs will operate in utopia. There must be a balance of each other. And that is why Article 165, Clause 3D, provides that the High Court has jurisdiction to interrogate whether anything said to be done has been done in accordance with the Constitution, whether there is compliance with the Constitution, Mr. Chairman. And so, Mr. Chairman, an impeachment is a constitutional process. And it being a constitutional process, Mr. Chairman, it is under the interrogation of the High Court. And that is why the High Court, in that wisdom, wanted to evaluate and interrogate the entire process, whether it sits well within the Constitution. Mr. Chairman, I move on to the other question about the issues appearing in the notice of motion. Suffice to note, Mr. Chairman, that some of the issues forming the basis of this impeachment are issues that are competently before issues before the county assembly, which are pending resolution. Mr. Chairman, if you look at standing order number 89 of the county assembly of WAJIR, and you read that standing order together with section 14 of the county assembly, of the County Government Act, section 14A, which empowers the county assembly to legislate the standing orders, you'll realize that that standing order bars the assembly from debating any matter that is before a committee. Was that issue raised by the, before the assembly? Yes. We refer you to the standing orders of the assembly, which we assume they have served you with. An issue was raised by one Honorable Rashid Mohamud as the competence of that motion. And what did the speaker say? The speaker said, order, honorable member, if that matter is before the committee, stop discussing it. So you go straight to what is in the motion. The question is, could then the assembly find the governor culpable for issues that were before the committee? At that particular time, did the speaker guide the assembly as to what issues contained in the motion that may be voted for or against, or did he abscond his duty? Mr. Speaker,
I'm told you are,
as I sum up,
our timekeeper there.
We urge you,
your time is up.
We urge you to find that the motion before you is not competent, that the governor's presumption of innocence and the question of equal protection before the law will be violated if then these processes moves on. At the fullness of time, Mr. Chairman, and we are not impugning the jurisdiction of this committee. This committee has power to check on the abuses of their sister or their brother county assemblies through the doctrine of oversight. Much obliged.
Okay, very well. So, Senior Councilor Nasir, you need to respond to those POs.
I will respond, but just as a preliminary, I think. My Lord, Your Honor, I think...
How many minutes do you require?
Maybe 15 minutes. I will be done.
Okay.
I think, Mr. Chairman, we have to discount...
Senior Counsel, can you do it within 10?
Okay.
Time is not with
yes,
us. Really.
Mr. Chairman, I think we need to discount the high-sounding legal cliches my learned friend submits on, which are completely irrelevant to these matters. You know, separation of this committee. But, Your Honor, before I go substantively, there is an issue you told me and said, is there any rule that addresses this issue completely? And that's Rule 31. That gives the chairman absolute powers to rule on all these matters and address them in a most appropriate manner. But, Mr. Chairman, there is a very serious matter, my learned friend are raising it for the first time, and it is a grave danger to the rule of law. They are telling you that a governor can commit all kind of crimes through his children and wife, and you can't summon them because, as my learned friend put it, the unit of the family will be compromised. The unit of the family will be compromised. In other words, everybody will be committing offenses through their wives, through their children, and when the law wants to take its course, you will be told, no, this is the wife, this is the husband, let us not destroy this family. What will happen to accountability? What will happen to constitutional accountability? Will we hide under the cover of spouses, daughters, and sons, as my learned friends submitted? I mean, I am surprised that council can make that kind of argument, that let us not call the wife of the governor, let's not call the daughter of the governor, let's not call the son, because it may create some disharmony in that family. What of the public? What of the Kenyan public, whose money was misappropriated in this process? What happens to the law? I think that's an argument that's not even worth to make it in the first place. Your Honor, my learned friends also say that we are adding new evidence, and they cite Rule 19. Rule 19 is very important, but contrary to the submissions by my learned friend Degwa, the material word, Mr. Chairman, is this. It is this. Was not part of the, it says, in presenting the evidence, the assembly shall not introduce any new evidence that was not part of the allegations. So as long as we have made allegations in the county assembly, we can adduce evidence. And all these allegations, that the governor's wife is the de facto ruler, that the daughters and the sons were given, all those issues, Mr. Chairman, are part of the petition that was taken to this. There is nothing we are adducing in terms of new allegations. My learned friend also took issues with the CR12. Of course, the CR12 was made on 9th and 10th, but that's not manufacturing new evidence. That's just retrieving documents that are on a certain web page. And because we were taking instructions, Your Honor, you look at that, the person who was requesting is my learned friend, Ms. Hanan. She just wanted to confirm the assertions by the client that Jim Ali appears in all this. So she just retrieved that document. The facts existed. The fact is that he was a member of that company, that he was a director, he was shared, existed. The mere fact that you retrieve evidence that exists in a certain database is not manufacturing of evidence. Your Honor, my learned friend again in Degwa, he refers you to the Evidence Act, all those. The Evidence Act, this is not a criminal trial. This is a constitutional inquiry on whether the governor should be removed or not. When my learned friend takes you all those rules, of course he knows that they are not relevant. Of course he knows that they are of no use. But he still recites for whatever purpose he does. So I urge you to discount all those issues my learned friend submitted before. He also, that's why I said he used a lot of cliches. He talked about the balance of probability, the quasi-criminal nature of these proceedings. We will talk about that. We have not reached yet. It is just premature. So, Your Honor, all these issues my learned friend are saying that you should expand from the record. You will have a proper time when you can determine that issue. When our witnesses are called, when you look at the original petition before, then you will make a determination, no, this was not part of it. But I can give you my word that we are not introducing new allegations. We are not introducing any evidence that was not before. And my learned friend's vehement opposition on this should be dismissed in limine. Yes, I think, Your Honor, I think that really
they have raised appeal on a pending matter before court. Any comments?
Yes. I mean, my learned friend also knows that even the courts themselves, and if you look at the ruling by the Speaker of the County of WAJIR, which my learned friend praised it as high-sounding and appropriate when it was read, it's in the Hansard. This is what he said, my learned friend. This is my learned friend. He says, Your Honor, let me read what he said. He says, thank you, Mr. Speaker and distinguished Assembly. My name is Ndegwa Njiro, and I'm advocate of the High Court of Kenya. And with me is my learned friend Mwangi. We have heard your ruling, and we highly respect it because it is constitutionally sound. That is a statement. I'm not making it. He said it is constitutionally sound. And why is it constitutionally sound? Because, Your Honor, the Speaker rightly made the ruling that whereas the High Court has supervisory jurisdiction over Parliament when it made a decision, and that is even, I'm not disputing that, the High Court has made ruling that you cannot micromanage Parliament. You cannot intervene in proceedings that are ongoing on. You cannot stop Parliament to debate what it wants to debate. That is a red line on the sand. And that is the tradition of the Commonwealth. I mean, whether it's in England, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in Australia, the courts have said that their jurisdiction is triggered by a decision of Parliament. They have no jurisdiction to stop Parliament or to micromanage. And that's why my learned friend Ndegwa said that jurisprudentially, the Speaker's decision was sound. I'm not surprised that he's changing his stand depending on the forum. But that's not what counsel should do. If you say it was sound in WAJIR, it must be sound in Nairobi. All the objections, Your Honor, to the affidavits are inappropriate. This is not the right time. Let evidence be adduced. Allow us to put the evidence which is critical for this. And let us proceed, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. So now you have raised a number of issues that the committee will require to retreat to consider them. But Councillor Nyamodi, I see you have put your mic on.
in the submissions we made a reply, or we made a response to the two preliminary issues that Learned Senior had taken up, and we also urged 3 or 4 preliminary issues of our own, which Learned Senior has responded to. I was hoping, if possible, to claim 2 minutes as a right of reply, having moved preliminary issues that have been responded to by the other side.
I hope you are not misleading, Chair. I thought you responded to his PO and then raised your own.
And raising my own, then
you have a right of
me
reply. 2 minutes.
To a
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
whatever he said.
Yes, limited to those issues only. Yeah. 2 minutes.
And it is really just a single issue, and it is to contextualize Rule 19 of the rules of this committee. The purpose of Rule 19 is to be seen if you look at the invitation from the clerk of this assembly to the governor. In the invitation that is forwarded by the clerk of this this Senate, I'm sorry to call it an assembly, the invitation forwards to the governor it forwards to the governor the motion and the evidence in support of that motion. And that forwarding in good time gives the governor an opportunity to respond to the allegations and to respond to the evidence. Rule 19 should therefore be given the interpretation that then makes it possible for the governor to respond. And the word, let me get the word. The word allegation in Rule 19 should be read together with evidence, because allegation, evidence, and opportunity to respond. Rule 19 seeks to prohibit an ambush, and Rule 19 should at no point be interpreted so that it is facilitative of the kind of ambush that the county assembly seek this committee to be an accessory to. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. As I was saying, you have raised a number of issues, preliminary issues that will require that this committee retreats to consider and then give its ruling on the way forward. But I just want to ask, do you intend to make any opening remarks? Senior Councilman Nasir?
Yes, we want to make extensive opening remarks.
What about Council Nyamodi?
Yes, we intend to make opening remarks.
Yeah, so I will give this direction so that we manage time. We will sacrifice our lunch hour to do a ruling that will give a direction on how we proceed on all these preliminary issues, the witnesses, whether to accept the request or to reject the implication of that court order, and all the other issues. So I think I'll give you an opportunity for the remaining period. You make your opening remarks, and then during a lunch hour, we'll prepare our ruling on the issues you have raised, which we will deliver in the afternoon before we start on the trial. In that case, then I will allow counsel for the county assembly to make his opening remarks.
Chair.
How many minutes do you need? You have
on the upside, can we say 20? But I think I will make less than that.
You can make less.
Point of order.
Okay, that's okay.
Chairman.
Proceed.
Point of order, Chair.
Yes, Senator Sakaja.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the situation we're in with COVID-19, but counsel from both sides are a bit muffled behind their masks. Maybe you can direct that as they present, they can use the dispatch box so that we can hear them clearer, especially for counsel for the governor, because he's surrounded, but counsel for the assembly doesn't have anyone around him. You can remove your mask so that we can hear you a bit clearer, kindly, Chair.
Okay, Senator Sakaja, earlier on we had directed that nobody should speak without their masks on.
They're muffled, we can't hear. There's no reason to have a proceeding where we don't hear.
But if we can rearrange the sitting, maybe the person next to the dispatch can move to the right, then we can allow your senior counsel to go to the dispatch. You make your remarks from there. Is that okay for you? Is that okay for you? Yeah, you can do it from there. Thank you. So he says he needs 20 minutes, so you can... 20.
Honorable members of this committee, we are most honored and grateful for this opportunity to present the case of the County Assembly of WAJIR in this process that entails the removal of the Governor of WAJIR, Honorable Ambassador Mohamed Abdi, which you all know was triggered by the impeachment process that was started by the County Assembly. Mr. Chairman, this process is important both to the people of WAJIR in particular and the Kenyan general public for a number of reasons. First, this is another glorious opportunity for this House to showcase to the Kenyan public the importance of constitutional accountability and fidelity to the law. The Senate, by virtue of Article 81 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act number 17 of 2022, has a solemn constitutional duty to undertake the process of removing or not removing a governor. In our view, that process is a delicate balance you must maintain between it seen as a whitewash or a witch hunt. And it's my humble submission before this august institution that you have an excellent opportunity to showcase to the skeptical and disillusioned Kenyans that are not happy with our institutions of governance. Mr. Chairman, during an era when the institutions, whether it is the judiciary, the executive, and the legislatures, are floundering and grossly underperforming, and when the citizenry of this country have shown great dissatisfaction and happiness with the three co-equals arm of government, this committee has a special duty and obligation for the common man and woman in rural Kenya who believe that the rich and powerful are simply unaccountable and operate in an atmosphere where the rule of law has taken an indefinite leave of absence. You have a duty, Mr. Chairman, and your committee to reestablish their faith in our institutions, and that, in my humble submission, is priceless. We are not saying that you swallow our case and evidence hook, line, and sinker, but we are pleading and respectfully petitioning this august institution that you apply the law as it should and hold the governor of WAJIR to a constitutional audit and accountability so that his reign comes to an end. Mr. Chairman, the trial and the motion that triggered it couldn't be more authentic and genuine. It's as a result of the masses and ordinary folks in WAJIR who have revolted and risen against the rule of the governor. It is a local MCS in their rural stations in WAJIR, in a bold and brave act of selfish sacrifice that initiated this process. And I want this committee to appreciate that this process has no big wig, it has no big man, it has no sponsor. It's the MCS from WAJIR that has triggered it. It's not driven by the national politics of this country. It's not even influenced by the clan dynamics of WAJIR. This petition, Mr. Chairman, is both clan and political neutral. It is because of the accountability of the governor, the impunity of the governor, that could not be tolerated anymore by the petitioners and the grassroots members that they represented, which triggered the seismic political change in the ecosystem of WAJIR and even the larger northern Kenya. Mr. Chairman and honorable committee members, we are confident that when we take you through the evidence and show you the graphic but scary malfeasance, incompetence and corruption of the governor of WAJIR County, we are confident that you will reach the inescapable conclusion that His Excellency, Governor Mohammed, must be taken out of the political equation in WAJIR. In fact, we boldly submit that if the Senate cannot remove this, it will probably not remove another governor. The evidence is overwhelming. The evidence is indicting. Mr. Chairman, I know you as my former chairman, that you and some of your members have excellent training in law, but I will just tell you that when you go through this evidence, the issue that should come to your mind is the legal doctrine in the law of tort that is habitually pleaded in personal injury cases comes to my mind, and that is, Mr. Chairman, res ispa liquato. The facts speaks for themselves. You really don't need to prove it. It is so obvious. It is there ex facie. Mr. Chairman, just like your committee, we are very conscious of the fact that this is not a criminal trial. Rather, it's a constitutional process that is quasi-judicial in nature. So even though we are confident that our evidence can sustain a criminal trial and satisfy the standard of proof of beyond a reasonable doubt, that is not our brief this morning. We are not doing a criminal trial. This is a constitutional process or adjudication, and the standard of proof hovers in the neighborhood of the balance of probability. Mr. Chairman, again, I would like to impress upon your committee that it's not a question of quantitative, it's a question of qualitative. If we show that 1 shilling, 1 dime was stolen or misappropriated, that is enough for his removal. We don't have to show you that billions were stolen or hundreds of millions. It is the breach of the law, the act of impunity that led to the loss of that 1 shilling that should be enough for you to remove him. Mr. Chairman, before we give you a snapshot of the evidence that we will lay before the committee and the factual metrics that define the case of the County Assembly of WAJIR, let me comment about very briefly the governor as a witness and his decision not to appear as a witness in the most important trial of his political career so far. We are conscious that he has appeared before you pursuant to Rule 6, but we emphasize, Your Honor, we emphasize, Mr. Chairman, that his refusal to take the witness stand is pivotal in the determination of this, and it is very critical in the deliberations you make. Although we refrain from submitting that a negative inference can be drawn by his refusal to take the witness stand, I submit, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, that you must take notice that, as usual, when the governor is told to account for his omissions or acts, he always skips his trial. He never participates in his trial. Your Honor, there is one issue I just would like to emphasize, and this is the fact that if you look at the history of the defendant and his participation in judicial processes, this is a witness who persuaded a court that his lack of education is not very important, and a court of the eminence and standing of the Supreme Court. And when I argued that matter before the Supreme Court, Mr. Chairman, I impressed upon the court the famous case called Dred Scott versus John Sanford. Is an 1857 case of the U.S. Supreme Court, which declared that a black man is a chattel and is not entitled to freedom and will never be a citizen of the United States of America. I impressed upon the Supreme Court that they have a similar situation, and if they rule that the governor does not need to have a university education, the same way Dred and Scott damaged the standing of the Supreme Court, that case will damage the Supreme Court of Kenya.
Chairman,
yes.
If I may perhaps object at this point.
Yes, Council.
I have listened very keenly to Leonard Senior making his opening remarks. But with tremendous respect to Leonard Senior and this committee, he seems to be settling a personal score with the governor. The issues of the Supreme Court and what was submitted and what the Supreme Court was persuaded and not persuaded surely cannot form the subject matter of an opening remarks in respect of an impeachment trial. Those are personal views, and Leonard Senior is not a voter. He's not a citizen of Wajir County.
You know, I think Beneath my learned friend to make that. I mean, there's nothing personal about this. I'm referring to one of the most important cases ever decided by the Supreme Court of Kenya. That is uncomfortable with that. Doesn't mean anything to me. It's for him to sort out it. Can I conclude, Your Honor? I'm about to finish.
Senior Counsel.
Yes.
We will allow you to proceed, but try as much as possible to limit your opening remarks to the issues before us. We may not have a lot to say about...
Interpretive decisions institutions make have historical implications. And that is why I'm saying that when I give the case of Dred Scott and the case of the governor in Supreme Court, there are certain decisions that institutions make that they regret for the rest of their lives. And that is the danger I'm alluding to in this matter. But my Lord, Mr. Chairman, as a deliberative institutions, you are seized of interpretive powers under Article 10 of the Constitution. When you are determining this matter, you are interpreting the Constitution, you are interpreting the statutes, and certain values that are captured in Rule 10 of, Article 10 of the Constitution have a very important ramifications for your part. Mr. Chairman, we are calling 3 witnesses in this matter, and we have deposited their witnesses and statements. The first witness is Mr. Abdullahi Isaac. He is the MCA for El Nur Tula Ward representative. He is the author of the notice of motion dated 19th April 2021 that triggered the impeachment process. We will take you through his evidence first to show you the process from a constitutional law perspective was of high integrity and followed the letter of the law in all aspects. Mr. Chairman, he will take you through the facts that inform the case. The breach of Public Finance Act that is completely ignored in all dealings in the county government of the governor. This act, in my humble submission, is the bedrock of accountability. When you break this act, like the governor has breached in all aspects, you can't have any regard, or you don't have any regard for public finance. He will give you a detailed breakdown of each and every breach that occurred. He will show you that the process was not even Byzantine, it was worse than that. He will show you that billions were lost, some unaccountable, some nobody knows where they have gone. He will show you that even something so simple like giving the annual address so that you can share the vision and the hope of your county, the governor has refused, notwithstanding the statutory provisions that underpin such important exercise. He will take you through the budget and the accounting process. He will show you that even a budget for 1 year, when the assembly passed, the governor just changed the whole budget so that it can suit certain issues of dynamics for him. He will show you that Governor Mahmoud thrives in an opaque, secretive system that has no checks and balances, that has no accountability, and is defined by impunity and immunity from prosecution or the reach of the law. The second witness, Mr. Chairman, is Shuaib Barre Abdi. He represents Div Ward. He has an affidavit. He was the second person who seconded the motion before the assembly. His evidence zeroes on the First Lady, Her Excellency, Mrs. Khaira Omar Maalim. And we are very respectful, Your Honor. We don't want to go very personal with the First Lady, or because she is a mother, she is a wife. And we have been very careful to circumscribe the evidence we are giving to ensure that it only touches when, or it's only relevant when it interacts with public finance and public accountability. But according to the evidence by Mr. Shuaib, Madam Khaira is no ordinary First Lady. She is not power behind the throne. She sits on the throne. Shuaib will take you through his evidence and give you a snapshot of her reach, that how her tentacles are deep and strong in the affairs of the county. In few months in 2018, and we will share with you, we'll share with you the chart, we will show you evidence of about 28,825,000 that she received as kickbacks in contracts that are awarded by the government. It is astonishing, Mr. Chairman. It is breathtaking, but we will share that evidence with you. Lastly, Mr. Chairman, we will share with you the last witness, Honorable Hussein Abdurrahman Dahir. He is the representative of the ward. He has two affidavits, one on bending pills, 2 million shillings of work done, not paid, no money. Where that money has gone, he will share with us. And the other one affidavit is held. A staggering 2 billion was spent in the last 3 years on the health sector. There is nothing to show that. Mr. Chairman, when we share this evidence with you, we will persuade you and your committee that the only option you have, in light of the evidence we show you, is...
Council Nyamodi, you have some opening remarks to make?
Mr. Chairman, we do have opening remarks, and perhaps with your permission, I can address you without my mask from here. We will be sharing the time.
We will sanitize the dispatch. You can speak from the dispatch.
No, I will speak from the dispatch, but only for the purposes of responding to the chair's question. Yes, we have opening remarks. We wish to take about 20 minutes with them, and we will share the time equally between the governor, myself, and Mr. Ndegwa, and the governor will go first.
Thank you. So, Governor, you can take to the podium, to the dispatch. We have sanitized, but if you are not confident enough, you can speak with your masks on. But for your own comfort, we actually change the microphones after every speaker, so you're good. So you will manage. Council Nyamodi will give you 20 minutes. You see how you manage your client, yourself, and Council Ndegwa.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I wish to thank you and the committee for the opportunity to appear before you and present my defense on this matter of my impeachment. Further, Mr. Chairman, I take this opportunity to underscore the cardinal role of the legislative arms of the government, both of the national government, which is the Senate and the National Assembly, and the county government of the County Assembly, in exercising their representation, oversight, and legislative role as enshrined in the Constitution of Kenya and other relevant laws of the Republic of Kenya. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, the appointment of this committee by the Senate to hear and look into whether or not the allegations leveled